Heyo. 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 Howdy, people. Howdy. Peoples of Earth. How are you? That's right. I'm talking to you. I'm talking directly to you. Who, me? Well, not me, but you. Yes. Howdy. Anybody new here? Anybody? Welcome. I made it. I'm here. Okay? What do you want from me? Everybody has such high expectation these days. Expectations are through the roof. Because everybody likes to be sold a dream. Nobody really wants reality. But I get it. It's no fun. Reality's not fun. Reality's hard. Reality involves, like, tough things. So who wants that? Everybody just wants a fantasy. Because it feels good. And here we are. But I made it. I'm freaking exhausted. Not really. I'm actually less tired than I thought I would be. I was pretty tired yesterday. Because I was on Rose 777's channel. Saturday night, she had me up late. She's apparently nocturnal. Rose, if you hear this, you know, you're going to have to... We'll work on it together, Rose. We're going to get you to get some sleep. So I was on her channel. It wasn't even that late for, like, most, like, normal people. But for me, it was a little late. I have my routines, guys. I'm at that age where I have, like, routines, like nighttime routines. All kinds of routines. Yeah, I've become that guy. I've become, like, a grumpy old son of a gun. I was on Rose's channel Saturday evening, Saturday night, I guess, and we might play a little bit of that later. We had some special guests. We had the lovely Kalina, who was on. She was quite lovely. And you may ask the question, well, Z, did you simp? Well, I'll let you guys decide. But then Mr. David Weiss was there. So Z got to do his little David Weiss thing. And I think we're going to play that. We're going to play that a little bit later in the show. Because it was interesting. And yeah, Capricorn, you're right. Rose's mom showed up. So I got to meet Rose's mother. Now, I was conjecturing. I mean, what do I, guys, you know how I speculate sometimes. I presuppose things sometimes. I don't presuppose the globe, but I presuppose some things that involve me and my ego and things. And I was presupposing that Rose invited her mom because she wanted me to meet her mom, you know. It's only proper. So I got to meet Rose's mom. I was like, Rose, is this the moment where I get to meet your mom? What would Jason say? Ooh, what would they say about us, Rose? But it's not like that with Rose and myself. It's a different type of relationship. It's more of an emotional connection. I'm Rose's emotional friend, which is a tough place to be in. You don't really want to be like the emotional friend of too many women, guys. One's probably too much. Because you're the guy that they call when they're feeling down. And they just got to let it all out. Oh, I just need somebody to listen to me. You got a minute? A minute means like 6 hours. Hmm. No. Gentlemen, don't be the emotional tampon of anybody. Although, for whatever reason, I'm willing to be Rose's emotional tampon. So we'll go there, Rose. It's fine. We can do that. I'm willing to do that metaversally. But anyway, it was a good show, but it threw my whole schedule off. But I'm here with you guys. That's all that really matters. Yeah, who is this Z guy? Somebody recommended his channel to me. I heard he was a flat earther. This isn't flat Earth. He's just talking about himself. Unsubscribe. I'm out of here. Oh, fucking stupid. Stupid. Gordon Zoll says you called the mom Randy when her name was Ranzi. Okay. Now you gotta embarrass me, Gordon Zola? Oh, God. So now I have to be like, oh. We're communicating, and sometimes it's limited. There's a lot of stuff going on. It was a ruckus night. Okay, her name's Ranzi. I gotta remember it. Why didn't you correct me, Rose? She's not listening to me. She's sleeping. You just let me say your mom's name wrong like 5 times. Fucking real. See, it's the little things in life. Now I'm gonna have to obsess on that. God. All right. Let's start the show. I just don't want to keep rambling on and on, but it's kind of what I do here. It's kind of the fucking point. Let me wake up first. When I start the show and let my music play, that's when I like kind of go, and I like brush my teeth and like wash my face and stuff. Like I hit that live button. Like, okay, I'm in. I'm committed. I'm going live. No turning back now. Gordon Zoll says, "Don't worry about it." Well, I'm worried about it now. I never heard the name Ranzi. Oh, see, Rose is here. Rose, are you really awake? Thank you. She said it's not Ranzi, it's Randy. See, I was getting like all embarrassed. I'm like, oh man. When you call somebody by their, I've been the guy where I've been called by the wrong name, and then I'm like, too embarrassed to correct. It's this embarrassing situation all around. But when somebody calls you by the wrong name, you should correct them. And if you don't, I think it's like shows something. It's like an insight, like a window into like one's personality. Kind of shows like lack of confidence. Have somebody like call you by the wrong name over and over again. But it's been confirmed. Thank you. I didn't think Rose would just let me sit there and call her mom the wrong name like over and over again. Like Rose doesn't seem like that kind of person. But apparently Rose never sleeps. So Rose, go to sleep, Rose. You shouldn't be here. I mean, I like that you're here and everything, but we need to work on that sleep pattern. All right, let's start the show. Let's get going with it. I'm awake enough now. All right? I'm awake. Yeah, Rose, go to sleep. All right. Let's get the fucking show started. Cripes. There we go. There we go, everybody. All right. Let's do the opening. You never know who's listening. Hey, today could be my big break. Who's going to call me? Who would my big break be? There's really nobody. Like, I don't like who's going to call? Is Joe Rogan going to call me? No, we've seen your show. We've been watching you secretly. I want to do, like a morning show. Is Joe Rogan even a morning show? I don't know. Is Joe Rogan going to call me? What would I say to that? Would I have to, disavow like the fake moon landing like Joe Rogan did? Remember that, guys? When he like went on and on about the fake moon landing and he knew like every little esoteric detail about it. And then one day he was like, oh, no, yeah, we actually went to the moon. Right, Neil deGrasse Tyson? How did Bear Juice is Alex Jones. I don't know about that one. Alex Stein has that one covered already. They already scooped Alex Stein up from the truth community. Truthfully, I'd probably be more likely to pick up Alex Jones's phone call than Joe Rogan. I don't know why. They're somewhat equivalent, but for whatever reason, I don't know. Alex Jones seems like the lesser of those two, evils. Yeah, Joe Rogan's like all of a sudden like, oh yeah, the moon landing, it really happened and stuff. Of course it did, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Of course. What are you saying to me, OTW? I can't even listen to whatever Pat says anymore. What are you saying, Pat? Pat, when did you start? I didn't start the show yet. I'm already talking to Patrick from OTW News. This is how my morning starts. Talking to an insane Canadian with dissociative identity disorder. Which Patrick am I talking to now? Which insane version of your personality? See, he likes to get me going. Now that's what you do, Pat? You just type in all caps everywhere? That's like a chat faux pas. Again, the level of entitlement with these people. Pat says, I have a funny feeling you don't feel like being here right now. I don't know what you mean, Pat. Like here, like on Earth? I mean, you might be right about that. Rose was kind of alluding to that towards the end of the show Saturday. She was like, do you even like want to be like, like alive and stuff? And I was like, I don't know. It's a good question. Like I didn't ask to, I didn't ask to be here in the first place. That's the thing, guys. I'm like, oh, I'm here. Earth. Great. I gotta be here with the likes of Patrick from OTW News. My experience would be better, Patrick, if I didn't have to deal with like insane people like you. Like if I had like, like better friends. Because Patrick and I guess we're friends at this point, Pat. We could say that. Maybe my experience in this realm might be, a bit more pleasurable if I wasn't dealing with the likes of OTW News. Hey, Pat, with friends like you, who needs enemies? Unbelievable. Fucking unbelievable. And now I'm dealing with Patrick. All right, let me start the show. Crikes. All right, let's do it. Good morning, everybody. Grand Rising and Grand Approach. Welcome back to Z Show, my show. That's right. We're broadcasting live and in living color all around the level and horizontal realm. Yes. Welcome. Horizontal. That's right. Horizon. Horizontal. Zone. I gotta watch out because I use my hands a lot. So when I point to my eye like this, when Russian Vids decides to go at Zetetic Warrior, he's gonna use it. Now he pointed to his eye. So now I just squat. I gotta keep my hands down. Anyway, welcome everybody. Welcome. Focus on Patrick now. Z, blah 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 blah. Do you want to be here, Patrick? That's the question. He said, never mind, I'll just shut up, bro. Sit back and watch the show. Too late now, Patrick. You're not part of the show. You've insinuated yourself in enough. Yeah, see, he says, not anymore. So you were projecting onto me, Pat. Like you're sitting around like feeling all, I don't know, dejected, just rolling up your spliffs, like realizing what your life is, realizing you're spending, between your tobacco, your cannabis, and your insane Monster energy drink addiction. Pat, that's right there. That's like $50 a day right there. Just in your like insane addictions. Unbelievable, Pat. So as you're projecting onto me, like, all that stuff. See, guys, that's why this is a tough game. This is a tough game for me, guys, because I'm sensitive. You understand? Like, I pick up on things. Like, I'm empathetic. I'm the empathetic warrior. You guys call me the sympathetic warrior, the pathetic warrior. No, I'm the empathetic warrior. And I empathize with people like Pat, and I got to stop doing that. I have to stop doing that. He's not a person to like resonate energies with. He's just gonna fuck me all up. So as you're sitting there suicidal, Pat, you have to like project that onto me. Then I have to question myself. I'm like, am I suicidal and stuff? I don't really feel suicidal, but Pat seems to think so. No, it's you, Pat. Unreal. I want to focus on you. All right, let me go to the chat. I mean, other than Patrick from OTW News. Why do I do this to myself? Who's here? Who's here? Let's greet the real listeners, not Patrick. Capricornian in the house, much love. Chris from South Jersey. And he says much love. He knows he's up early. Nuba in the house. Now Nuba's dropping music lyrics on us this morning. From the Beatles, Rubber Soul. Yeah, Rubber Soul. Uncle Rick the Bear Jew in the house. Music. The producer Mooks is here. Who else? Question the Narrative 71. Yeah. Grant H has King Simp in the motherfucking house. I don't know if that's you or me, but either way, stop simping. Stop simping. Ryan Johnson. Much love. Much love, Ryan Johnson. Alex Tilburg. Yeah, coming at us. Three Fingers. Steph Davis. Guten Morgan. Steph, are you one of those Meltology people? Am I on that about you? Are you a Meltology person, Steph? Now I have to like know there's a whole category of Meltologists. When did that become a huge thing? I mean, I get it, like the Meltology thing, but enough where I think there's a category of them. I think Steph's one of these Meltology people. Sovereign Mist in the house. Benton coming at us. Benton has been prolific with his streaming. Got all kinds of stuff going on. Pale Horse Rider, yeah. Who else is here? Getting going here. We're getting going. Gordon Zola is here. We already said hi to Rose. Hopefully Rose is asleep right now. But if you are awake, Rose, you can keep listening. Yeah. The Metaphysician in the house, which is a good name. It's one of my favorite names, the Metaphysician. I'm not a physician, I'm a metaphysician. Sterling Ray. Nice. Somewhere in time, coming at us. Have a great day. You too. You too. Ken before the storm. Yeah, Patrick types in all caps. Like, that's not... Like I said, Pat, the level of entitlement just to, like, just type in all caps. Like, who does that, man? Nobody. Oh, Stavely's here. Stavely's up early. What's up, Stavely? Stavely's here. Much love. Much love. Steph Davis is absolutely meltologist. Absolutely. Yeah, Rose is there. She's fucking wide awake. Yeah. I've been trying to like work into my Brian Staveley impression, but it's not anything special. It's just a generic like Boston accent. That's all it is. And it's bad. Like my Staveley impression's bad. It's just not good. It's like almost as bad as like when Matt Damon was doing his like Southie accent in Good Will Hunting. You know, it's the same thing. There's no difference. The good news is it's kind of an easy accent to do because it's so distinctive. It just is. Yeah, I don't know about the meltology thing, guys. I don't want to offend any. I haven't looked into it. And like I'm tainted on the subject because of Mr. Brian O'Shea. He's like a passionate meltologist. But we did get into this. I'm glad Staveley's here. Staveley, can you talk to Karen if she'll let you? We know Karen's a tough cookie. See, I have Rose and Brian here. So, of course, I have to talk about Karen B. Because Karen's apparently not really into, like, the meltology, the Tartarius stuff. And I don't know. Apparently, we found out Dave Weiss was trying to convince Karen maybe to, like, you know, maybe bring some of these Tartaria people into Flattoberfest. But there's a hard line, apparently, drawn on the Tartaria and the meltology people. Apparently, they're not really encouraged in that Flattoberfest community. But I say we start a movement. We start a movement right here. Especially because word on the street is Martin Liedtke is going to be in the U.S. during the time of Flattoberfest. You hearing this, Staveley? Liedtke is going to be like in California during the same time as Flattoberfest. How do you guys make that happen? You guys get Martin over to that Flattoberfest, you might get Z there. Although, I'm not quite sure yours truly would be too welcome at Flattoberfest. Rose, what would happen if I went to Flattoberfest? I'd imagine that I'd be putting myself in some degree of peril. I'm not sure how that would go down. Maybe I should do it. I don't really want to like ruffles feathers and stuff, but anyway, I don't want to get too far off the topic. Hashtag Liedtke at Flattoberfest. I'm starting the movement here. So he says everybody wants me to talk to Karen about things. I could imagine. He said, Zetetic, you would be fine to go to Flattoberfest. Nice, Brian. Staveley gave me the thumbs up on that one. But I don't know. That could just be a trap. You guys, is it possible? See, this is where I start getting into my imagination because I see Staveley here this morning, and I'm like, all right, now what is this? Did Karen like put you up to this, Brian? Like Karen's like, okay, how do I get to Zetetic Warrior? I know he's got a soft spot for Staveley. I can imagine that. She pulls Staveley aside. All right, here's what you're going to do. You're going to show up on Z's show. Where's my Karen B theme music? I got to find it. I have new Karen B theme music. I'm going to try it out this morning. Nuba's already laughing. Staveley says he's his own man. Nuba. Here's my Karen B theme music. See, this is where I get in trouble. Metaphysician's laughing. Karen's like a stone cold gangster. She's like, all right, Stavely. Rose knows. All right, Stavely. Here's the deal. If you want to continue to have a roof over your head, you're going to fucking listen to me. Brian's like, all right, fuck, man, fuck. She's like, hold on, it's too loud. Karen's like, you get over to that fucking Satanic Warriors show. You talk to his ass. He's going rogue. He's going rogue. All of a sudden, I'm like in that scene in Scarface with Frank. You fucked up, Frank. I'll give you a one-way ticket to the resurrection. I'm like, geez, Karen, calm down. Right, the flat world is yours. The flat world is yours. And then what happens? I'm like, you fucked up. Oh no. And then Stavely's got to decide. Do I do the hit on Satanic Warrior? Or do I... Karen's like the Colombian drug lord that that pulls in, brings Tony down to like Colombian shit. This is a whole movie, Rose. You're laughing, but this is the movie. Oh my god. Got a one-way ticket to the resurrection. Oh. Brian says, pretty sure Karen actually doesn't give a fuck what you're doing. Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. This is funny. Oh. Say hello to my melted friend. But anyway, all serious, all joking aside, we're going to start a movement. We need to get Liedke to that Flattoberfest. Rose, can you work on that one? I could imagine Stavely. It's like, oh, can you tell Karen this? Can you tell Karen that? I wonder how many people are like, hey, Karen, can you tell Stavely this? Can you tell Stavely that? So funny. Oh my god. Alright, let's move on. Let me stop. Stavely, you created a monster. For those of you who don't know, for those of you who think Z is a Jewish Mossad agent here to infiltrate the Truther movement, Stavely, let these people know that, like, the whole Z thing was a Stavely creation. I was like a caller to Brian Stavely's show. Yeah, he says I tend to do that. I was like a caller on Stavely's show, like calling in, like, you know, talking to him and like Tommy Tell the Truth. You know, we were talking like Mandela effect, reality shifts, you know, fake Bang Bang events. And then one day Cleveland Steve was like, hey, Stavely, like maybe have Z on. And I made a funny video where I was pretending to be a redneck named Jim Bob. I guess Brian thought it was funny. And he was like, oh, Z, come on, I want to interview you. So there you go, guys. The creation of yours truly. I was already Zetetic Warrior at that time, but Stavely was like, I don't know, Stavely just gave me the name Z. I'm guessing, Stavely, with your Boston accent, saying Zetetic Warrior. Probably is like hard to say over it. So he's like, fuck it, I'm just going to call him Z. And there we go. So, you know, do with that info what you want. But who knows? Maybe you also think like Stavely's some kind of like secret Mossad agent, and then he fucking brought me in together. Oh, that he goes, I remember. He says, I named you Z because Ian couldn't pronounce it. That's right. Ian kept calling me like Zemenic Warrior, Semitic Warrior. Like, that's right. Ian, that's right. I forgot. He said I know how to say Zetetic. That's hilarious. That's right. It was Ian. Whatever happened to Ian? I can't talk about Ian, Brian, because there's certain Satanists, Omniists, that come to my show, and they've told me I can't talk about Ian anymore, so I've stopped. Hashtag let's bring Ian back. Let's. That's right. It was Ian. We love you, Ian. I wonder if he. I get it. Hold on. Let's take a. We're gonna take a musical break, and then we'll come back. Where the fuck is it? See, now I'm gonna open too many tabs on my thing. So before I get into it, we're gonna come back with the David Weiss thing because Rose deleted it off YouTube. I don't know, like if she was embarrassed, or we did kind of talk about some hot topics and stuff. So after this short musical interlude, we're going to come back with the Z David Weiss thing. But in the meantime, we're going to... Where's my music? Yeah, here it is. So you guys know that Rose and I were musical collaborators, and we dropped a new hit single. I'm going to play it for you guys, assuming my computer cooperates. Yeah, it should be here. Yeah, coming at ya. Yeah, she says she made it private. It's all right, Rose. It's all right, Rose. I won't take it personally. I'll just pretend it's because we talked about, that day in September, and we talked about, the last 3 years and stuff. You had mentioned some medical complications that your mom had due to some health decisions that she made over the last 3 years. So I get it. I know why you took it down, Rose. I understand. But anyway, let me find our song. So yeah, Rose and I released our new single, the Nancy Griffith classic, From a Distance. And here it is. Yeah, Schmandy Schmuck. We talked about Schmandy Schmuck, as Rose likes to call it. So, all right, guys. Let's listen to Rose sing and me on back up. And we'll be back shortly. Don't go anywhere. We'll come back with Dave Weiss and Z together. Much love.
From a distance, the world looks blue and green, and the snow-capped mountains white. From a distance, the ocean meets the stream, and the eagle takes to flight. From a distance, there is harmony, and it echoes through the land. It's the voice of hope, it's the voice of peace, it's the voice of every man. From a distance, we all have enough, and no one is in need. There are no guns, no bombs, no disease, no hungry mouths to feed. From a distance, we are instruments, marching in a common band, playing songs of hope, playing songs of peace. There are songs of every man. God is watching us, God is watching us, God is watching us from a distance. From a distance, you look like my friend, even though we are at war. From a distance, I just can't comprehend what all this fighting's for. From a distance, there is harmony, and it echoes through the land. And it's the hope of hopes, it's the love of lust, it's the heart of every man. It's the voice of hope, it's the voice of peace, it's the voice of every man.
Yeah, coming at ya, everybody. All right, so let's get into this David Weiss thing. Let's get into the David Weiss thing. So yeah, so yours truly, me, Z. I finally got a chance to chop it up with Dave Weiss. That's right, the Junicorn himself, Mr. Dave Weiss. Now, there's been a lot of, discussion around here regarding Mr. Weiss. A lot of you guys love Dave. I love Dave. But I have some detractors here at the channel. And they'll say, Dave, he's a shill. He's basically using flat earthers for shekels and stuff. Okay, think what you want, guys. But what's the reality? This guy's out there every day, like, he's beating the pavement for like the whole FE cause. And I like Dave. Just the way it is. Yeah, Joe. Like Joe says, effed up world. Dave's a bomb. That's right. Come on. Let me pull this up. Hold on. Let me find it. Like I said, Rose didn't make it easy for me because she deleted it off YouTube. So then I had to like do this whole other thing. This Google Drive. Hopefully I'll get it to work. So say what you want about Dave. I like Dave. And say what you want about me. Doesn't really matter. Let me get to the part where we pulled Dave up. Dave came in somewhere near the beginning of the show. So yeah, just for people who weren't here earlier, I was on Rose 777s on Saturday night, and Mr. Dave Weiss came on. And we're going to play it now. There it is. I'm going to play it for you guys. And I might drop in with some comments and stuff. We'll see. See how it goes. And Nathan Oakley also showed up, by the way. Not the real Nathan Oakley. It was me as Nathan Oakley. Because I couldn't just do a straight interview with Dave. I had to obviously make it stupid and uncomfortable and awkward. I tend to do that. Sometimes you just have to dive right into the cringe. You have to like wade your way through like the swamp of cringiness to come out the other side. You just have to do it sometime, So Nathan Oakley showed up. Because we know Dave and Nathan kind of are having like a little bit of beef right now. I've conjectured that Mr. Nathan Oakley's just jealous of Dave because he owns a timeshare, in the Iron Republic beyond the ice wall. Now, Dave confirmed to me that, although he's been to the Iron Republic, it's not a timeshare that he owns, but a duplex that he rents out, which would make sense to me. Because Dave, smart enough to realize that if you're going to invest in property, a timeshare is not probably the best idea. But either way, Dave kind of hangs out there beyond the ice wall. We get into that, though. We get into the Dave's trips beyond the ice wall and all other things. Rose says everyone's jealous of Dave. Maybe that's what it is. They're jealous of him. I don't know. Are we insinuating that Nathan Oakley's jealous of Dave? Did I say he's... Yeah, I did. I guess I did say he's jealous about his timeshare. Yeah. Nathan's like, fuck. Dave's heading beyond the ice wall. He's hanging out in the land of Mew and the Anunnaki. And apparently Nathan Oakley's like just stuck in a room with Arwen, whatever that guy's name is. All right, let's get into it.
Recently, David must have watched the episode that we did recently. Oh, your lighting is awful, David. How dare you join my stream with terrible lighting?
Oh man, how about if I go like this? Is that better?
I'll allow it, I guess, because it's you. David, welcome to the show. You had a busy day recently with your 3 high schools.
One high school, one teacher. I did it before, but we didn't record it last time. And it was he has this class on critical thinking.
Oh, okay, great. So after you leave, do you think he was like, okay, so this is...
So right now I'm wondering how many of my detractors are screen sharing this image right here. Because now it's going to be, look, we always said Z was Jewish. We always said that he's secretly Mossad. He's here to infiltrate the flat Earth community. And look who I'm on here. I mean, no offense, Rose, but like, I'm on screen with like the 2 Jewiest Jews to have ever Jewed. Like, this is like the Jewiest moment I've ever had. And like I said, Rose, I lived in Jenkintown, Pennsylvania. So, this is to my own peril because my detractors now have all the evidence they need. Z's Jewish, and he's counterintelligence, and here it is. I'm giving my haters all the ammunition they need. All right, let's continue. What am I talking about here?
This is an example of someone who is really, do you think they're going to pick apart? Do you think he was sincere? Is he a flat earther? It was 3 different 45 minutes, 45 minutes, 45 minutes, 3 different classes, one after the other.
Yeah, no, this is the second time. He's definitely a flat earther. He wants to, the class was very into it, and they ask the same silly questions, and they're at that age where they just don't care about anything. They just want their social, it wasn't a shocker for them, but there was a couple girls at the end, which I put the clip at the beginning, that were totally like, oh my God, they got it. And he said the whole school was a buzz about this flat earther that's coming, and a couple of the science teachers want to talk to me, so that'll be interesting.
Wonderful, David. Do you know Zetetic Warrior? Because I'm trying to figure out why people think he's a shithead. Have you ever heard gossip about why he's a shithead?
I don't even know who he is. Who is he?
Hey, Dave. Nice to meet you, Dave.
Are you Zetetic Warrior?
What did you call me? This I'm Z. Yeah, Zetetic Warrior. I am.
You seem like a nice guy. Maybe I've seen some of your stuff. I just never put a face with it. So you seem okay.
Well, you seem okay too, Dave. I have a lot of like Dave Weiss bits that I do, but I don't know if I'm going to embarrass Rose by going into all my Dave Weiss comedy. So I might leave it. There.
That's fine. I like comedy.
Well, I like trying to do imitations, but I'm very bad at doing male voices. I always just make them end up sounding slow because I lower my voice. But with you, I could probably do an attempt because you have like a nasally voice, which kind of is like mine.
Easy. So, you imitate me, Rose. I'm going to imitate you, and it's going to
be yeah. You can do it. The earth is flat.
All right. Goodbye.
All right. I'm just
what
kidding.
Happened? All right, that's funny. That's funny.
I was leaving you together. Okay, so you haven't heard the gossip, so you can't be that bad, Z. See, I didn't know about Z until he starting drama, and I had to go and address him to try and get ahead of it, right? Try to jump onto the bit with him and then de-escalate the situation. So now,
hold on, Rose. Hold on. If we're going to de-escalate drama, what about Dave's drama with Nathan Oakley right now? How are we going to skirt? How are we going to skirt that issue?
Listen, you can't make drama if I'm not participating. I don't even know who Nathan Oakley is anymore.
Really?
I don't watch his stuff
anymore.
I don't everything. I haven't watched his stuff forever. People send me his stuff like, oh my god. So I looked at his channel for the first time in probably a year, and I saw the last 5 thumbnails have my face on it. I was like, wait a minute. I go, let me see what he's doing today. And I listened to the whole show, and he only mentioned my name once. I'm like, what is this? It's a scam. I mean, he's using my image to get people to watch, and I have no idea what the guy's even talking about. So I recently blocked him on Skype, and I don't think about him anymore. So there's no drama.
Okay.
Are we buying this, Rose?
Yeah.
Are we buying this?
I buy that David is oblivious to the other smaller channels that are not as big as him talking about him, because sometimes people send me links and I jump into a stream and I just see all these people talking about me, and then I just leave and it's out of sight, out of mind, and you forget that it even happened. Right, David?
Yeah, I don't think about it at all.
Yeah, he's oblivious to it. He's already at that level where his brain doesn't have enough time to care about what little people think.
I can't even understand the argument that he's making. I mean, I understand it. It's just semantics. And I'm not into semantics. I'm into waking up as many people as I can, getting them to realize that we don't come from a big bang. And then once they figure that out, then they can go and watch anything they want. I'm just bringing them. That's all I do. I'm just bringing new people in. That's my goal.
Okay. Now,
Let me
so
ask.
you
Can
said-
I ask Dave some questions? I've been waiting for this moment for a while.
All right,
Cool.
I'm going to let you interview him, and I'm not going to interrupt. So go at it for a couple
Challenge.
minutes.
I'll take the under on that.
Dave, so is it true that you own a timeshare in the Iron Republic? That's what's going around. Is that true?
No, I have a duplex rental. I own the whole thing and I rent it. It's not a timeshare. And then like I go in there for a couple weeks at a time.
Gotcha. So what's the windsurfing like beyond the ice wall? How is it out there?
I kite surf over there. It's much better. Kite surfing is the new windsurfing.
Oh man. I could probably do like a Karabati joke from there and go from that.
You could. I don't know. I think that Karabati thing. Listen, a lot of people like, Dave, stop talking about the outer lands. No, we're speculating. We're allowed to speculate. There's a lot of evidence that there's land out there. There's a lot of weird stuff with ships that you can still track that are, 1,000 miles inside the shoreline of Antarctica. That's weird, don't you think?
Yeah. Well, that's some of the stuff Oakley's going on about. Is he's really dogmatic about the scientific method, and when he starts hearing outer lands, I think the guy loses his mind.
You know what? I'm very careful, and I've gotten more careful. Whenever I talk about it, I say I try almost always say we don't need to go beyond 60 degrees south or above where we can reach to prove the Earth is flat, but we can speculate and look at evidence of things that are out of our reach. And that's how I preface it, because that's the truth. We don't know. We have no proof that there's more lands. But if you wanted to, make a bet, I'm betting there's more lands. And as a matter of fact, I'm just listening to the question and answer on Crow with Fortune, and just as I got out of the car, he talked about more land. He was talking about his answer on more land. There's more lands out there, lands that we don't know about, that we're not going to know about, lands that they're hiding, and that's fascinating. That's just another piece of information that makes it even more solid in my book.
All right, Dave, I'm just going to go for this interview. I do a show every morning, so it's kind of what I do. But
Okay.
I'm having my little Dave Weiss moment, guys. Here it is. Dave, so let's talk about flat Earth, okay? So I'm like a flat earther, right? I'm a proud flat earther. I don't skirt the issue. I don't say, I don't know what the Earth is. It seems level. I just say I'm a flat earther. I embrace it. Almost like a gay guy embracing like the F word. I just say, yeah, whatever. I'm going with it. In light of like all this moon landing propaganda, Russia's crashing. They crashed their ship onto the moon. India just had their goofy rover, and they had their soft landing. We're supposed to have people there by 2025, followed by like Russia or China in 2030. They're ramping it up. It seems like flat Earth is growing, popular to contrary. Right.
The whole Indian moon landing, and I called it from the beginning. I said they're gonna just wait, and all of a sudden they're gonna come out and they go, those stupid flat earthers thought that this was real footage. Look how stupid they are. They're looking at this like the old Nintendo graphic, and they think it's real. Of course it's not real. How would they film it? They were taking the data and putting it into a visualization. Stupid flat earthers. And people that are new to the topic will go, oh man, those flat earthers are stupid if they thought that was real. It's kind of like a trick, and it's also kind of like a poke in our face. So, okay, of course we know that's not real. Everyone knows it's not real. They could have done better graphics. Where's their proof? Extraordinary claims require some evidence, not even extraordinary evidence. Where's the evidence they landed on the moon? There's none, and it's so stupid. But I don't know. That's the ballers' argument is flat earthers are stupid for thinking that was real footage. The truth is, flat earthers were laughing at what they were sticking in front of us as proof they went to the moon.
Dave, do you think there's a threshold number that must be reached to tip the scales to blow up the hashtag science and hashtag academia, all the lies and deceptions.
I think
it doesn't. I don't think it's 50-50. It's got to be a threshold number, though.
No. If you ever read the book, The Tipping Point, about hush puppies in New York City, and it's a small percentage. It's a single digit percentage, and when you hit it, it tips, and then and overnight it all happens. And we're at that point. We're one tweet away, one interview away. If one intelligent flat earther, not necessarily me, could talk to Tim Pool, and Tim Pool would give him a full show, that would change the world instantly. If Justin Bieber, who knows the earth is flat, made one tweet, if Stu Peters, love him or hate him, he's out there tweeting about flat earth all the time. He's bombing the world with flat earth stuff. So I know a lot of people, he's a shill. No, I don't think he's a shill. I think he gets some things wrong, and I think he is out there pushing a lot of truth. I get a lot of hate for saying that, but the guy is waking people up, whether he's got 100% right information or not. I don't think he's gatekeeping. I think he's just doing the best that he can. So there's my answer on Stu. But as far as the about the tipping point, we're literally there. We have the power now. Enough people have my app where they're sharing it. Like if everyone shared, and listen, it's not all about my app. It's about waking people up. They're hiding all the information. My app bypasses that, gets you the information. Everyone holds their cell phone in their hand all friggin' day long. It's the best tool. Okay. Whatever tool you want to use it. And everybody make a commitment to yourself that you'll wake up one person a week or one person a day or one person a month, whatever it is. And we're there. I mean, this could tip extremely, extremely fast. And we just need, people, when you see somebody having a stupid flat earth conversation because they don't know anything. What's that show Tim Pool was just on? Isn't the guys in Florida? The in-person podcast. What's it?
Was it like a men's podcast?
Yeah, men's podcast. It's
Fresh and Fit.
Fresh and Fit. Yeah. And they were just talking about flat earth. Dumbest conversation ever. They know nothing, right?
Yeah.
But if they had me on, if they had Jaron on, if they had anybody other than anyone that is not afraid to talk about it and knows the answers, it doesn't make flat earthers look like they believe the earth is a disc floating up in space.
Right.
Then that's going to change everything. So it's this close. We have the power. Everyone's out there. There's so many people that have seen shows. They email me like, Dave, check this show out. Here's the timestamp. They were talking about flat earth. Here's the email address. I put some messages in the chat that they should have you on. Message them, and then I get on these shows. Okay. Not just me. If you have someone else that you like better than me, get them on. But if we do that, we're days away, weeks away, months away. Who knows?
Can I ask you this, Dave? Do you ever fear the consequence of the globe lie, the uncovering of the globe lie? Do you ever fear the consequence, toppling of governments, economies collapsing, et cetera, et cetera?
It depends on how you look at that. I mean, if you got rid of our government, that would cause some mayhem, but that is in general a good thing. It depends on how everyone deals with it, but I'm not in fear of anything. I'm in. The only thing I could be afraid of is not doing anything. Is what would happen to me if I didn't do anything? What would happen to me if I didn't do the best that I can to wake up people? People like Dave Weiss is in it to make good money. I walked away from a lot of money. I walked away from my life's goal, having my own business. I walked away from it all, not even knowing if I could barely pay my bills. Okay. Now,
may I jump in and say something really quick?
Go ahead.
I just want to say that there is a criticism out there that it's like you're door knocking with a sales pitch because it's rapid fire, so many interviews. But I would like to say that from my perspective, I feel that it's not even a sales pitch and that this is your real personality and that you are laser focused on this topic.
Rose, what does every flat earther want to do every day? What do they want to do every day? They want to wake up other people to flat earth. They want to wake other people up to flat earth, right? So my job that I created, because I thought it into existence, is to wake up other people to flat earth. Somehow the universe, this realm we live in, the creator, whatever, has put me in a situation where that's my job. The better I do it, the more rewards there are for everybody. And when people start counting the money, oh, look, he's got 115,000 people on the Friend Finder, times $10 of, bullshit. It's not, you have no idea. I'm paycheck to paycheck like the rest of you. But hey, one day I'll make $1 billion. Okay. You should be happy, because when I do that, we're going to have airplanes testing vertical gyros. We're going to have trips to Antarctica. We're going to do everything. We're going to have camera equipment filming, sunsets in the South in the summer and the winter versus the South in the summer and in the North in the summer and the winter. We are going to prove the Earth is flat beyond. Well, it's already proven, but we're going to get the information out there. Okay.
That's so exciting. That's a really huge promises. A trip to Antarctica. We're supposed to be like under promising, over delivering. That's a really big promise.
It's not.
Well, it isn't under
promise.
promise because eventually we're going beyond the ice wall, Rose, and I want to board that motherfucker. I want to be.
I have to replace the dishwasher in my duplex in Iron Republic.
So. I love it, Dave. Do you at this point have Look, I'd imagine, given your popularity and your notoriety on the subject, do you have any heat? Do you feel any heat coming on you from, let's say, 3-letter agencies and otherwise?
If you listen to Fortune on Crow, everyone, if you're not subscribed to Crow, I think most people here are. You're missing out. But if you listen to what he says, and I say it all the time on my shows, we create our own reality. And the only true statement I ever heard from any president is FDR. The only thing to fear is fear itself, because fear is the only thing that'll take you down. When you vibrate on a different level with creation, it's got your back. Okay. Wherever you are, whatever label you want to put on it, that's all your own journey. I'm trying to be very careful with my words here, because I want people to figure it out themselves. So as far as fear, I have zero fear. No 3-letter agencies, no nothing. I just do my thing, mind my own business. I mind my own business, but I'm out there getting in everyone else's business. But I ignore the petty squabbles as much as I can. Sometimes I have to poke the bear. Occasionally you got to poke the bear, And I just do. I enjoy life. And guess what? I get to wake up people. This is super fun. Now, talking to that class was fun. 45 minutes, though. It's like, it's hard to. I was feeding them with a fire hose. If you got to that when I said that to one of the classes, because you don't. There's too much to say in 45 minutes. So that's it.
Well, that's awesome. Oh, he just left. Okay. So that's it. What do you think? What do you think of that exit?
Much love, Dave. Much love.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I got you.
Okay, I'm just making sure. That was so abrupt. I don't even know what to. Oh, okay. I knew
he might have just clicked. He might have just clicked off.
I did. I clicked the off. I hit.
He's excited. He's like, I wanted to ask you, Dave, what kind of school let you talk? Is it a private school?
No, it was a public school. School, but it was a senior elective class. And I asked, I said, when I told somebody about this, I said, what does this teacher want to get fired? And he goes, well, we really don't have a set curriculum, and the county really doesn't know what we do here. So I got him to agree to let me record it and hide faces and identities and schools. Rose, you watched it. Could you tell anything? Could you tell who anybody was or where it was?
Absolutely not. You cannot tell. It's just like a beautiful logo blurring everything out.
All right. It's good.
I hope he says yes to you sharing it.
Oh, I'm sharing it already. So if anyone's on my Patreon, it's there. Rose has the link. I'm sure it probably leaked out a little bit. I haven't looked at how many views on it.
David, I cannot believe that you would even joke about me leaking an unlisted link from you.
It's not going there.
Had I known that I could do that, there are so many links I would have.
I'm hoping. The email I emailed to him is a school email address, so I don't know if he checked his email on the weekend. If not, I'm sure he'll check it on Monday, and then I'll release it on Monday.
Cool.
Sorry, Rose, I didn't mean that. I kind of did, but sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. Right. I'm not a leaker. You silly goose.
Yeah. So I think that we are in what I always refer to it as the flat Earth soup, and everybody does their own thing, and all these different things together make a great soup. Because if we all did the same thing, it would be a very tasteless, boring soup, and it wouldn't cover all of the angles. And people are like, what can I do? You can share videos. You can, try to talk to people. You can send them to my website, send them to Jaren's site, send them to whatever you think is good for that person. If they're super Christian, send them to the biblical playlist. And if they're, everyone's like, what's the best way to wake somebody up? Depends on the person. Depends on how much time they have. It depends on what they're interested in, right? I'm short attention span. I guess you can call me ADD, or at least I used to be. That's why I make short videos, and those short videos get people interested, and they watch another, and they watch another, and the next thing you know, they're watching, hours and 5 hours, and then they're like, holy crap. I get emails every single day that keep me going, right? These emails are like, you woke me up. I saw this. I couldn't believe it. And I still get people watching the Professor Dave, and they're like, he was horrible, and then I just send them the Mind Shock version, and they're like, wow, holy crap, it snapped me out of that spell. So everyone just share, be nice, help others, be charitable, just do all of those good things that lift your vibration.
Let me ask you something, David. Is it true that the Friend Finder on the Flat Earth app is being used as like a dating app, and it's already become like a little Tinder?
It's not, don't call it Tinder, because people aren't just banging on there. I mean, maybe they are, I don't know. But people are using it to meet other people. There's a dating group. It's got over 100 people in it, and the conversations in there are very cool. And people are meeting each other. I know that people have gotten married and have kids already because of the app. So is it a dating app? Sure. Is it going to be a job finding app? I'm so close. I have testing versions. There's links floating around for the Android and for Apple to test this new version and work out the bugs. And it's really cool. It's going to have like a whole Facebook thing where you can be friends with people, and then once that's in place, I'm going to have the games that you can play with each other, and it's just going to be a whole way to bring people together. Just like Rose, we became friends online here. We met somehow, but there's people that you can look in your area, have these meetups. There's a meetup that was happening just up in New York, maybe 20 minutes from here, and I didn't go because we had some other plans, but I would have loved to go on and meet some new people. What's the number one thing you want to do every day? You want to meet new flat earthers, and you want to wake up people that have no idea what flat earth is. Okay. The app helps you do all of those things. So I don't know, man.
Okay. So David, let me ask you.
Right.
If Z and I want to do something with Karen, I wish Karen would join in. I feel like there's more power if we all work together. So we were thinking of doing an extravaganza in a couple of months, so people have time to prepare, where they just have time. It's going to be very professional, very good. My lighting will be great. I'll make it however you want me to make it, just so that I could convince you to promote this on your app, because then we could get a large gene pool. And so it'll be brought to you by the Flat Earth app. Actually, if we could get a lot of people there, then what we're going to do is we're just going to bring people on and interview them about what they're looking for, who they're looking for, what they're about, why people would want to be with them, their deal breakers.
So one of the things after the new profile section goes out there and everybody gets on there, we're going to make it searchable, so you can put in keywords like Justin Harvey can put in Florida, a real estate broker, whatever, and then you could search like, hey, I want to move to Florida. And you could search Florida real estate broker, and it'll pull up all of the real estate brokers in Florida, okay, that are flat earthers, right? Because we only want to work with other awake and aware people. So it's going to have that. And then the other thing it's going to do, what I'm going to have, is I'll be able to do, how you get the pop-up messages? Like we had the Flattoberfest popped up the other day saying the ticket prices are going up September 1st, right? That doesn't make sense for anybody in Russia or farther places, but we're going to have it where it can do regional. So like if you're doing like a dating thing, we can set it up by regions, like a show for the Western United States or the whole United States or whatever. So it's a lot. There's a lot going on. I'm doing it all myself. I don't sleep anymore, and I'm doing the best that I can. So
Awesome, David. You are doing, I do think that you are doing the best you can. And you take a lot of criticism for someone that works really hard. Of course, I'm always open to being wrong. Maybe you are a paid agent, but to me, it seems like your heart is all
Oh my
about
God.
flat Earth.
How dare you, Rose? Come on, you embarrassed me with that one. I got third-hand embarrassment from you saying that.
No. I'm trying to prove that I'm a mega
Uh,
truther, meaning I'm open to any possibility. But I'm saying you didn't let me finish my sentence. It said I'm open to anything, but it really does seem like you're someone who loves flat Earth and you're just trying the best you can. And a lot of people will criticize you, and it must be difficult to have criticism. And
Who-
when you're sitting here, I just see so much passion.
Right.
who doesn't?
Let me
who
say
doesn't
that.
love flat Earth?
Right. Let me say this to Dave. Dave was critical and integral in my whole flat Earth awakening. He was one of the people out there pumping videos that really helped me get over that hump. I was a big Owen Benjamin guy at the time, Rose. So when Dave would go on Owen Benjamin's and Owen was going through his whole flat Earth thing, I was kind of along for the ride, Like I heard it in 2015 when it first came out, and I was like, oh, but I had stuff going on. I was like, can we really see too far? What the fuck is that about? And it took me about 2 years before it finally clicked in. And I was one of those people that had a quintessential flat Earth awakening. So somebody said something, and it all hit me at once, and then my whole paradigm fell. And then once I picked myself out of the fetal position off the ground and got some coherence back, now here we are. So I just wanted to thank Dave for that. So Dave, I'm one of the people that you're kind of helping to wake up, man. So kudos to that, dude.
I just wish everybody would stop the squabbling and just do the best that they can, the best way that they want to do it, and just go for it. I mean, we're there. We're already there. Look at the blue dots on the map. It's insane. It's insane. And every one of those wants to wake up other people. Right?
Right.
I mean, what could be better than that?
Well, that's the thing. Once you become a flat earther, you can't shut the fuck up about it, And there goes your friends, your family, but who cares? You have like this whole community for what it's worth.
The highest purpose of life is to seek ultimate intellect and share it with others. That's what our drive, that's what we all really want to do. That's the purpose of life. Okay. And when we discover the heliocentric lie, which is literally the matrix prison for your mind, we're like so thrilled down to our soul that we want to share it with other people.
Right.
And
right.
I don't, then all these anti-flat earthers, and then all of the ones that are just causing trouble, like Nathan Oakley and stuff. I truly wonder if they're demonically possessed. I mean, if they have, there is spiritual possession that doesn't want, that doesn't want, the truth of creation to come out.
Rose, did Dave Weiss just say Nathan Oakley's demonically possessed? Did that just happen?
I said I wonder. Like, I can't imagine him being that horrible of a person by himself.
I don't know. Here, I mean, Rose, how do I resist going into my Nathan Oakley impression right now? How do I resist doing that? Dave, do we need to work out here? Should we, Rose? Should we do like an Dave, in my former life, in my former profession, I was involved in conflict resolution, Dave. Sometimes it helps to talk these things out. So maybe we should role play here, Dave, because we have to get through this, because Nathan Oakley is one of the top flat earthers. He's been at it for a long time. We need to bridge the gap.
Top flat earthers, he's got like 200 subs. Come on.
But he's been doing this for a while. I mean, the guy's no lightweight.
It's like saying that 99% of the people think the Earth is a globe, so they must be right. Okay. I mean, he's in there nitpicking. How many new people has he brought in? I don't care about flat earthers. Okay. I care about people that don't know the Earth is flat. What happened? Did he go?
No, he's still here.
Okay.
No,
So
I'm
don't
going.
get me
Hold
wrong.
on,
Don't get me
hold
wrong.
on, David. It's me. It's Nathan Oakley. David, how are you? Zetetic Warrior brought me here today. David, you fundy muppet. Hello, David. I have you. Rose trapped you here with me, Nathan Oakley. I'm here at Flat Earth Debate. Finally,
David,
I had my way with your Representative Austin Whitsitt the other day, moron. Now I'm going to have my way with you, David. Look, David, how do you answer the charge that when I talked to you, you basically told me that I have shekels in a boat and go fuck myself? What do you say to that, David? Did that happen? Did that really happen, David?
No, he was demanding that I come on his show for my education. I said, I got better things to do. And he's like, like what? And I'm like, well, I'm going to go swimming, make a video about flat earth while I swim. And then I'm going to go out on my boat and enjoy this beautiful day. What are you going to do? Are you going to just have another shit show shitting on other flat earthers and being negative? So,
David, how dare you? That is unscientific of you. I knew it. Just I told the world. He blinded me with shekels, of course. That's what they do, everybody.
all right. Listen, you're sucking me into drama. I'm not interested. I don't want to talk about it.
yeah.
Right
don't
after
wanna
you
talk
already. This is going to be on his show, by the way. He's gonna
Whatever.
do it.
What?
Listen,
You realize
he
that,
watches
right?
all my shows. I don't care.
Why do people do that? Why do people do
Why do you-
shows
why do
about
people
watching other
focus on what
people's
they hate?
shows?
Okay.
Hey. If Nathan is watching, Nathan, we've never gotten to have a discussion. And my friend Dylan Sakoshio is a fan, and he sent me a bunch of videos. And I want to understand what everyone's talking about. So you should contact me directly.
Oh,
And we'll
please,
figure
Rose,
this
you
out.
Yeah,
have him
Nathan. Come on,
You
Nathan.
know, you should have him and Russian vids on.
Wait, David, would you have a could I try to bring Russian vids on together? Because I feel like if you
I'll
guys
come
would
on
just
with
talk.
Russian vids if he's on camera.
No,
Yeah.
you can't see, you can't say that because that's like saying you only talk to Crow if he's on camera. You're just saying that because
I've
you know
seen
he
Crow in
won't,
person.
and you.
I've seen Crow in person.
That's
I
true.
might be seeing
That is
Crow
true.
next week. We might be having breakfast together.
Wonderful. I'm so
Yes.
happy to hear that. And his
Yes.
nephew was just in town
Okay.
for his nephew was just in town. And I was like, oh, how was your time with your nephew? And I thought he was gonna say something like, oh, I took him out on a boat or we went to the beach and I talked to him about sun gazing. And he was like, oh, I talked to him about my will. It was very successful. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so like serious. Like, what a serious topic to talk about. Like, hey nephew, one day I'm gonna be dead. It's like, oh my gosh. But anyway,
Shout out
maybe
to
it's
Martin.
different.
Shout out to Martin Liedke. Martin, I don't have a Martin Liedke impression to do, so
Wait, is Martin in the chat? Is
Yeah,
Martin in
he's
the chat?
here.
Hey, Martin, I sent you a message on Skype. There's a lot of people that are worried about you losing all of your content, and they want to set you up with a Web3 server, so all of your stuff goes on the blockchain. It'll automatically mirror from your YouTube account and go onto this blockchain. I want to hook you up with this guy. You got to talk to him. So message me on Skype.
Oh, that reminds me. Well, I wanted Karen B to come on and talk and all of us to make up so we could do the single show all together. And because there's this joke that Z does about how she's the Flat Earth Mafia boss. But I
Right.
think
She's
that
a little mafia bossy.
But no, you're more of a
Guys,
mafia
I told
boss.
you, confirmed right here by David Weiss himself.
No.
Karen's
David
gonna
is
really hate me now. God forbid.
David
Christ.
is the mafia boss because you are the one that has called Karen to tell her, you're like, Karen, you must do Tartaria subjects at Flattoberfest.
Stop it, Rose.
Trying
Rose,
to
you
pressure
are
her.
incorrect. You are totally incorrect.
I am?
Yes, pipe it for a second. I was
Okay.
watching her have this battle for days and days and days on Facebook, do show after show after show. She doesn't want to talk about geobiology or whatever, and then she would straw man what people were saying. You know, literally. Listen, I love Karen, but she would straw man them, saying, "Oh, they believe this, they believe that." And I'm like, "No, they don't believe that. You should listen." And then I came up with the idea, and I ran it by you. You said cool idea. Jaron said cool idea. Cammy said cool idea. Zach said amazing idea. And my idea was Mike Wickerson said that he is going to be flying to visit his family, and he would come on his own dime to Flattoberfest and do an hour presentation if she would have him. And I was
David,
like, Karen,
I'm so sorry that you must be mistaken because you didn't run it by me, because I would have said that you can't tell Karen to care about a subject that she doesn't care about. I always say this is like my
the
tagline.
thing is,
You
I
can't-
said there's so many people that
Fest.
hold on. There's so many people that care about it. I said, let him present his best hour. You can even introduce him and saying, I don't believe this stuff, but hey, let's hear it, and then we can disprove. You know, we can throw it out. Thought it was a great idea. Everyone thought it was a great idea, except Karen. She got a lot of pressure on her, and she literally had a meltdown, turned her show off, and unplugged her channel. But was that me?
Wow.
I was the straw that broke the camel's back, but it was just an idea. She didn't do it. And, you know, it's unfortunate. I think it's unfortunate because there's a lot of people that said, oh, yeah, I would be going, but I'm not going because of her, you know, and I told her,
But Karen
don't
doesn't
do
care.
it to sell more tickets. I said, don't do it to sell more tickets. Do it because it's interesting, or don't do it. It's up to you. It's just a suggestion. So I did not tell her she needs to do this. It was just a suggestion.
I know it was just a suggestion, but I'm saying you were trying to convince her, saying that it would be not in her best interest not to cover all these other topics. But she wants to make it flat earth centric. And so I understand. And so maybe there could be a separate conference for the other topics.
That's what she said. Listen, that's fine. And her decision is her decision. It's fine. I was like, I'm interested. I would have liked to see it. Maybe I did it selfishly because I would like to see his presentation. Although I can see his presentations online. It's more about getting as many people together as possible. That's more, you know, the presentations, you know, they're all going to be online eventually.
Okay.
So that was just my suggestion. And unfortunately, you know, or maybe it was a good idea that didn't happen. I don't know, because we're on this timeline now and it's fine. And I'll be at Flattoberfest, and I hope everybody just comes.
Well, speaking about everybody, Rose, maybe pass this off to Karen. Martin, Mr. Liedtke is going to be, rumor is he's going to be in San Diego during the time of Flattoberfest. I mean, how can that not happen? I mean, what are we talking about here?
Look, if it was my conference, I would make it like a Renaissance fair of everything. And I would say, this is what I'm saying, because this is what my channel's
It's not
about.
your conference.
Listen, it's not exactly, it's not my conference. So I'm saying if it was my conference, I would say, look, it's not my responsibility if anyone makes a mistake and starts believing in bullshit. I don't know. I am here on my truth journey like everyone else. And let's all get together, go around to every station like it's like a science fair, like of everyone's theory. And then afterwards, we all hang out and discuss it and have coffee. Oh my God, you guys are not going to believe this. My mom just joined. Thank you so much, Mom.
Honey,
now we can say,
hi.
hi, Mom. I haven't talked to you in so long. It's so good to see you. Look, it's David. David's.
Yeah, we'll end it there. Rose's mom joins. Which, Rose, your mom coming on might have been the most, kind of groundbreaking and consequential moment of the night. You guys should go check that out. I'm going to leave you a link to Rose's channel, but just know the stream was made private. I put a link to Rose's channel there. It's still up on her Rockfin channel. Metaphysician says, how is Rose's mom less Jewy sounding than Rose? Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah, Chrissy Lee, her mom came on. We got into it. We got into a nice discussion. Rose, you were pretty hard hitting on your mom. Much respect. You didn't back off. You hit your mom with the hard hitting questions. You really pressed her. I was even like, wow, did Rose just fucking say that? I was like, wow. Metaphysician says, that's awesome, Rose, that your mom supports you. Well, I don't know. I don't know if Rose would agree that her mom supports her necessarily. I don't know, Rose. I don't want to speak for you, but to say that Rose, I mean, after kind of listening to Rose's mom, saying that she supports her might not be the most accurate representation It almost seems like she's like embarrassed. Like she's like, oh yeah, you know, Rose, isn't that truth or stuff? You know, it kind of seems like there's some issues there. Just saying. Yeah. Rose says that she thinks her mom wishes she was more mainstream. Yeah. Of course. Well, it'd be less embarrassing for her, Rose. Like I said in your show, then she wouldn't have to tell her jappy friends about her, you know, her daughter who thinks that, like, you know, the last 3 years was a planned event. CV's kind of like fake and stuff. And I'd imagine it's not really pleasant when she has to tell her friends that, yeah, my daughter thinks that, you know, the whole 9/11 thing was kind of bullshit. And that the earth seems to be flat. Of course, she wants you to be more mainstream. You know. Rose says, but she knows I was right about the vaccine. Well, Rose, when you went into the vaccine thing, you basically said your mom was injured. I was like, wow, man, did Rose really go there? That was hard hitting. And Rose, from like a journalistic perspective, like kudos to you for going there. You didn't back off the hard hitting question. I salute that. I do. So yeah, guys, that was me on Rose's channel Saturday night. Mr. Dave Weiss popped on, which is a pleasant surprise. And unlike some of my listeners here, I like Dave. My discernment, it seems like Rose has a similar discernment, and many of you, is that say what you want about Dave. You don't have to agree with his tactics. Like Nathan Oakley obviously doesn't agree with the Dave Weiss thing, but to say that he's like insincere in some way, or to even go so far as to say he's like counterintelligence and stuff like Mr. Schlominger keeps saying, you know, over and over and over again. Okay, maybe it's a little bit funny, but I think we get carried away sometimes. To me, guys, it's about discernment. You know, you got to use your discernment with people. You're not going to be able to know every little thing, but I think we have instincts. I think we have judgment. And a better word again would be discernment. We have logic and reasoning and intuition, really. What does your heart tell you about people? Because maybe people like Schlominger, I mean, much love, but how in touch are you with yourself? You know, we want to overly, intellectualize every little thing. And to me, what does it say about you? What does it say about your intuition? What does it say about your consciousness? Because if you look at somebody like Dave and you're getting those vibes, I don't know, you really might want to look at yourself. Because it doesn't add up to say that somebody's just a shill just to say they're a shill. I'm not having it. I'm not having it. I'm not. All right, let me close this out. This screen. There we go. I'm back. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I'm glad I got to play that. Again, Slominger says, wife has proven many, many times he's an agent. Well, I'm dropping the invite in. For some reason, I doubt you're going to come up, Schlominger, because, you know, although you're an avid commenter and I do enjoy many of your comments, to my knowledge, I haven't heard your voice. So I don't see you, Schlominger, showing your face, telling the world, you know, the lies of science, the lies of academia, and the lies of the so-called educational system. I don't see you, to my knowledge, Schlominger, doing that. But I do see Dave Weiss doing that. So, I mean, I'm just wondering what's easier, to hide in a chat, to be faceless, to be nameless, to be voiceless, or to be like Dave and come on every day and subject himself to the ridicule from those like you, Schlominger. So unfortunately, I relate a little bit more with Dave than you. But I mean, like I said, the link's in the chat for anybody who wants to come up. So, I do an open panel. Tony says, watch Dave for many years get ridiculed by mainstream hacks. Right. Slumber says, I appreciate your invite, but you're paranoid as fuck. Well, I guess so. You know what that actually means is you're scared, Slominger. You're scared. Okay, so be scared. But I understand that you're scared. It's scary in a way to come up here and put yourself up for ridicule. But guess what? I do it. Dave does it. So it could be easy for us to sit here and listen to somebody just go, oh, he's a show and he's a paid agent. As you say, there's plenty of evidence, but you're unwilling to provide evidence, Schlominger. So as you just say there's plenty of evidence that Dave's a shill, you're unwilling to come up here and support your claim. So how am I supposed to respect you? You're just a man making a claim, unwilling to support it. So people could just make claims all they want. Just Google it. So your evidence, Schlominger, is Google it. Just like all the globies that say, oh, you're an idiot, Z. Of course the Earth's flat. Just Google it. Come on, Schlominger. Do better. Yeah, exactly. Nubis says, I Googled the shape of the Earth. Caesar Douche's channel proved it years ago. Right, so you're going to provide other evidence. Instead of just coming up here and speak like a man. Well, I don't know if you're a man. You might be a woman. Either way, women have voices. I don't know. Who am I going to trust? Dave, who's up here showing himself? So am I going to trust my discernment, or am I going to just you just claiming he's a shill? You and everybody else over and over again. It's interesting. Would now say, said in the Truthiverse, everyone is an agent. Probably the best self-destructive idea I've seen in the community. It reminds me of the 50s commie Red Scare. Right. So somebody like Dave comes on, puts his fucking Jewy ass on the line every single day. You heard the question I asked him. By the way, guys, links in the chat for the open panel. Come on up. Talk to me. I would respect your words more, Schlominger, if you came up and lent your voice to the conversation, not just say, Caesar so-and-so proved it years ago. Yeah, just like Aristophanes proved the globe years ago. We don't really have to hear what he had to say. Just know that he did it, everybody. Yeah. But you're right, Niall, it's classic divide and conquer. You give everybody the chance to have their YouTube channel. You make everybody a star for 15 minutes, or at least you think they are. And then you get everybody just to rip everybody apart. And think, yeah, he's a shill. You know how many times I've been, Schlominger, you know what's been said about me so far since I've been on here with no evidence? You know how many claims have been levied against me with no evidence? Sorry. Sorry if I'm not, just willing to listen to your basic claims about O'Shea. Yeah. Hegelian dialectic, right. All right, like I said, links in the chat. Let's take a little interlude. All right, Schlominger, we get it. I understand. I'd rather you just come up and talk, Maybe Dave's not scared. Or here's the thing, Schlominger, maybe Dave's just as paranoid and scared as you. But in the face of that, he still comes on and does that. Did you ever wonder that? Did you ever think that maybe, I'm a little paranoid myself to come up here day after day and go against these fucks who basically have control over the whole world at this point? Yeah, it's a little scary, Schlominger, but I'd fucking do it every day. And so does Dave, and so does Rose, and so does Stavely, who was here earlier, and Joe from Effed Up World, and all these other people. But I tell you who I don't see doing it, Schlominger. So maybe if you're going to levy claims against somebody, you might want to fucking have the balls up a little bit and come do it. I don't know. Just saying. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's easy just to claim everybody's a shill with no evidence to back it up. And just point to like other people's evidence. Oh yeah, so and so proved it 5 years ago, and Mark Sargent. Give me a break. I'm tired of it. And you're right, Niall. It's just like we'll just all rip each other apart. You know, we'll just tear each other apart. But anyway, much love, guys. But I would respect you more if you just came up, said what you think the evidence is, and moved on. Maybe we could discuss it. But don't make claims about people and not give evidence. It's a bad look. I mean, you could do it, but it's still a bad look. Somebody wants me to play the Hava Nikila dance for the Dave thing. No, because last time I played it, they struck my stream down. It might have been the Fiddler on the Roof thing, but there are certain things that I can't just play. They'll just literally, like, they stopped my stream right in the middle of it when I played like the Jewish music. But I'll play something. Let me pull something up. And we'll get that going. And then we'll move to the open panel segment, assuming people come up. Otherwise, I just have to keep going a cappella, as they say. I'll play a crowd favorite. I got to put some of that Whitsitt music in the queue because our new friend Austin Whitsitt is a musical guy. He and his lovely wife Kai. They have some good music. So we'll have to get into that at some point. We'll have to, definitely. What do I want to play for you guys? Let's play Lucky. All right, guys. See you in a few moments. Don't go anywhere. Like I said, open panels commencing. Link to joins in the chat. Much love, everybody. Lucky, please. Hold on. I wasn't sharing my screen. How are you going to hear Lucky if I don't share my screen? I do that sometimes. It's like sometimes I think I'm playing music, so I'm hearing it in my headphones, but you guys aren't hearing it, and I'll go into some bit that doesn't make sense, like without the background music. So I got to get better at that. But anyway, Lucky, take it away, good sir.
I woke up this morning to an empty bed. Your perfume lingered, your voice still in my head. Although your picture still sits on my shelf, my only friend is myself. It's a lonely day in Nashville. It's a lonely day in Tennessee. It's a lonely day here in Nashville. Nothing but the music in me. So I go out walking in the rain. I hit every honky tonk, hoping to dull the pain. Round every corner, Well, I look for your face. I gotta get out this place. It's a lonely day in Nashville. It's a lonely day in Tennessee. It's a lonely day right here in Nashville. Nothing but the music in me. Once the music gets into your soul, why, there ain't nothing you can do. And this old guitar is sure taking its toll. It even cost me you. Well, sometimes you gotta give up everything to live your dreams. But in this old world, dreams ain't always what they seem. It's a lonely day in Nashville. It's a lonely day in Tennessee. It's a lonely day right here in Nashville. Nothing but the music in me. Nothing but the music in me. Nothing but the music left in me.
There he is, Lucky Haskins. Lucky Haskins. Living legend. It was a beautiful song. Lucky's got it. He's got the X Factor. There's no doubt about it. Not only does he have the X Factor, he also has a Flat Earth Lodge. Let me pull up Lucky's channel. Lucky lives in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and he deals in like real estate and stuff. And he recently purchased a property with a cabin, a sauna, like a real one. The cabin's got a bar. It was fully stocked. It was a fully stocked bar, but knowing Lucky and how much he's been working on that cabin, I'd imagine that bar's not so fully stocked anymore. What's Stavely saying? Yeah, he says Lucky also has a pretty epic My Awakening interview. You guys know Stavely does his My Awakening interviews, and Lucky's was awesome. It was freaking awesome. And what was I going to say? Yeah, so he's got this Flat Earth Lodge, and yeah, as I'm yapping, let me pull up his. I'm going to drop his link in. And I'm sure it's open to anybody. Like, I don't think you'd like have to exclusively be a flat earther to like rent it from him. But based off my understanding, Lucky's kind of interested in getting flat earthers up there, and I'd imagine you probably get a pretty good deal on it. And I was checking out the UP, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. I was never like aware of it. I'm like, yeah, what's I always think of Michigan. It's just kind of like the most bland state I could ever even imagine. But apparently this Upper Michigan's beautiful. It's right on one of the Great Lakes. I think Lake Superior. But I'm not sure. I'd have to look. But they call it Lake Gitchagumi. And there's like waterfalls and state parks and shit. I'm going to try to head up there at some point. But anyway, get that damn link in. And if you guys are interested, you head over to his channel and just ask him about it. Here's his link. Maybe someday I'll make my way up there. I do want to do like a Zetetic Warrior, like, US tour where I go around and kind of meet everybody in real life. A lot, I've been encouraged to go to more meetups and stuff. Like Boston Ray, you guys, when he was here the other day, he was encouraging me, Z, go to more meetups. Some people think I'm a little too hard on the flat earth community because I'm one of these guys, I kind of hold everybody on equal standard. Like, I don't like go easy on people. So like if somebody's acting crazy, whether they're a flat earther or not, I'm going to like talk about it. You guys remember the Trinity Dave debacle? And I love Trinity Dave, but we kind of had to like examine it, that little situation that happened. So we don't need to bring up again. Anyway, link for Lucky Haskins channels in the chat. We need the hope because it doesn't look good, guys, if we're going to be like, oh, my in-group did something, so now we're not going to talk about it, That's not a good look. You have to talk about things. You have to get them out in the open. Astrolabium doesn't want me in Michigan. Obviously, now we know where you live, Astrolabium. That's funny. Man, this Queen Bee's in the chat just going after everybody. Century. Catch-22 says, I'm in North Central Michigan. Just a little ways from Lucky's, yeah. Like, I'm not trying to like dox Lucky and stuff, but he knows. He has a place up there. Yeah. It's kind of like a peninsula. Yeah. All right, links in the chat for anybody who wants to join. And as we're waiting for people to come up, maybe I'll go into a little segment I wanted to play for you guys. Maybe Stavely will come up. Stavely hasn't been on the show in a while. We'll chop it up with him. Maybe he can confirm how he created the Zetetic Warrior monster that you see before you. Where's my clip? I had like a short clip that I wanted to play. You guys know I like the old-timey clips. Let me see if I can find it. You guys know I'm like fascinated by like nostalgia and stuff. Yeah, here it is. Let me get this up.
Meet Grammarly Go, your go-to.
Yeah, here it is. Yeah, so let's get into this real quick. This is a quick one. All right, so you guys know my thoughts on propaganda, social engineering, etc., especially space-based propaganda. If you guys don't know, you should really pay attention that it appears as though the space-based propaganda has been around since the very inception of Hollywood, mass media in general, radio into film and TV. One of the first movies ever made was a French movie called Voyage to the Moon. You can go all kinds of things. Up to 2001 Space Odyssey, the magazines. I've gone into, there's a magazine called Amazing Stories where they were showing the globe in like, the 1920s. And they had like cartoons and comics of like men on the moon in like the 20s in spacesuits with like a perfect globe behind it. So the propaganda's been around. So let me show you guys this. It's a this is a an ABC News. It might be BBC. It's presented through ABC News. Oh, it's Australian. It's ABC, but it's the Australian Public Broadcast Service. So when I saw ABC, yeah. So it's the Australian Broadcast Service. I should have recognized their goofy accents. And this is a 1962 segment entitled "Is There Life on Other Planets?" Now, I want you guys to remember something, and how I always talk to you guys about how things are assumed and presupposed, and how indoctrination works, how logical fallacies work. Even in the title, is there life on other planets? All right, well, let me ask you this. Did we know that Earth was a planet in 1962? Because I played for you guys a clip the other day when Neil deGrasse Tyson was on Steve Colbert, and he said it wasn't until the moon mission, 1969 through 1972, the Apollo moon missions, where we finally confirmed that Earth was a planet. When we were out all the way at the moon and on the way back, we were able to see the globe Earth as a planet amongst the other planets. Well, which is interesting, because if we didn't confirm that Earth was a planet until the moon missions, why are we in 1962, not even a decade after the first satellite in space from Sputnik in the mid-50s, why in 1962 are we like, just saying Earth's a planet? And even some of you guys who are onto the lies of NASA and the globe and stuff, even some of you guys are like, just out of reflexively, it's like still like calling and thinking Earth's a planet. Well, who says it's a planet? It kind of just seems like Earth is the Earth, and there's like luminaries in the skies. And there's these certain luminaries that sort of transgress their fixed place in the cosmos, and they kind of wander around. Some people used to call them wandering stars, and we now call them planets. But again, I just want to show you guys, and some of it gets really detailed, semantics, but just the title. That's how indoctrination works. So anyway, let's go into this. Like I said, backstage is open. Don't let me have my first show, guys, where no guests come up. I mean, I could do this, but I'd rather talk to you guys. So let's go into this real quick. Maybe somebody will pop in. Yeah. Is there life on other planets? Other planets. Oh, Stavely's here. Stavely, watch this with me, dude. I want to hear your critique on this. Let's see if it's
all right, cool.
working. Staves, you're live.
Yo, I'm here. I know.
Nice. What's up? Talk to you again. Let's get into this propaganda from '62, and then maybe you and I'll just chop it up about whatever. Okay.
Cool.
Nice. Anybody else who wants to come up? Come on down. Mr. Brian Stavely's here. Yeah, so guys, this is from the Australian Broadcasting Company. 1962. Is there life on other planets? Where this obvious guys, you want to talk about agents? Maybe stop saying Brian Stavely and Zetetic Warrior and Dave Weiss and Rose 777 are agents. Maybe maybe we could point the fingers of the real agents against humanities, like a guy in 1967 who's going to come on in a suit, greased up hair, and a well-produced segment and tell you that, is there life on other planets? Let's continue.
Do you indeed think that there is life on other planets? Do you think there's life on other planets?
Oh, I don't know.
Would you like to think about it for a second?
Oh, not really.
Tell me, do you think there is life on other planets?
Well, I'm not quite sure, but I suppose there would be.
No, he seems definite. You seem
Definitely.
definite. How do you see this life and where?
Oh, I've seen a flying saucer.
You've seen one?
Yes,
When was
definitely. At Lane Cove.
When was this?
All right, so let's start here. Maybe this guy indeed saw a flying saucer. There's all kinds of weird fucking shit going on in the skies. But notice the presupposition, likely due to indoctrinated beliefs through movies that this guy goes, yeah, there's life on other planets. I saw a flying saucer. I mean, Stavely, like that's the thing. It's like we associate now, okay, UFO means other planets, means the bending and warping of space-time and wormholes and warp speed. Oh, and they came from distant galaxies and they've used the bending and warping of space-time to make it here. What are your thoughts, Stavely?
I think that's a sign of all the conditioning that people have been beat over the head with. I mean, it's just a given. It's just a given to them that there's other planets and everything. So yeah.
Right.
And the other thing too, when you're talking about like UFOs and stuff, that's something we need to be careful about too. Like, okay, a lot of people get to flat Earth and realize a lot of things, and I'm not one that says space is fake. I don't use that terminology. I say space travel, and we don't really know what's up there, what the stars sit in, and all that. We kind of all have our own opinions. But we can't dismiss that people actually see unexplained phenomenon in the sky. And I've seen a lot of that in the early years of the community. Well, just to discount everything because there's definitely weird stuff that people are seeing in the sky. Now, me and you obviously don't think that's coming from trillions of miles away. What is it? Is it a government psyop? Is it advanced technology? Is it crafts from other lands? I don't know, but there's definitely weird shit going on up there. And the other thing I want to add too that we got to be careful with, because I've seen this thing, how when things go viral in the truth community, like, and everybody jumps on it right away, that should be your first red flag, that, yeah, there's probably some truth there, but it's probably leading you down another rabbit trail. I've kind of thought that about Project Bluebeam for a while. You plant this in the seed, not that they don't have hologram technology and all that. Of course they do, but you plant this, it's so easy for a truther to come across the ideas of Bluebeam even a decade ago. It makes me think that there's probably stuff that goes on in the sky that's on a spiritual level, and they know that we're going to start to see more of that. So what's going to happen? The normies are going to see it, and people like this guy are going to assume it's aliens from outer space. The truthers are going to see it and call it Bluebeam, meanwhile ignoring that it might be something on a deeper level. It's a possibility for people to think of. I'm not saying Bluebeam doesn't exist, but always look deeper into what's being promoted in the truth community.
Yeah, good thoughts. Let's continue.
1953.
You don't think this is a figment of your imagination?
Several other people with me saw it.
You all had the same figment. What did it look like?
It was standing up there still,
Just suspended in space,
with colours coming out of it.
flat or on its side?
It was around.
And you think this was sent from another planet? Do you?
I really do. Well, where else would it come from?
Do you think there's life
See
on
it?
other planets?
Where else would it come from?
Yeah, where else? Oh, I don't know. Maybe past the Antarctic.
Yeah, maybe anywhere.
Right in the
Yeah,
Pacific Ocean, could be anywhere. I mean, we're so dumb as to far as like what this place is, and they control the maps and the guidance systems and everything. I mean, you don't even got to go past the far lands probably to find hidden land, So they could be coming from an island that we aren't even aware of. That's just a few hundred miles off the coast in one of these continents. Who knows?
right. I always come back to. I'm getting a little bit echo, Staves. Just I'm not sure.
Okay.
What was I going to say? Yeah, I always come back to people don't realize how much their beliefs and their belief system plays into their paradigm and their worldview. They don't realize that, the globe is a belief that they hold. They don't realize that Earth being a planet is a belief. So their paradigm, their worldview is shaped by these underlying beliefs, which likely have been conditioned. Once it's only until you realize that it's a belief can you then move on. That's why I'm so consistent with my message here, is to try to shake people's fundamental belief systems and get them out of that paradigm. We always talk about, Stavely, it's people's paradigm that they have, and to let go of the paradigm is difficult because we define ourselves through our paradigm, but I always constantly try to go down to this thing. What do you believe? Is it fact, or do you just believe it to be so? So like this guy said, oh, where else would they come from if not other planets? Because you believe there's other planets. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's always belief, and they think it's fact because of their appeal to authority. It's that simple. They believe people are telling them the truth, and people smarter than them have figured it out.
Yeah, right on. Let's continue.
Oh, well, I wouldn't like to even discuss that.
Why not?
It's a debatable point, I suppose.
What do you
but-
think yourself? You must have an opinion here.
Well, definitely not.
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 Well, what leads you to say that? Scientific investigation or?
Well, only working off the theory of the Bible. Well, there's only one world, isn't there? And
Do you think that can stand up to present scientific investigation? This
I think it
biblical
could.
creed. Do you think so?
I
As
think
far
it
as the
could.
universe goes.
Mhm. Definitely so.
In your opinion.
Right. So then they
Life
bring in
on
the
other-
old guy to come in because it's a different flavor for everybody. They're going to give you everything. So now it's the old guy painting him as like, he's kind of out of touch. So look at this old son of a bitch. He's just going to go back to the Bible. He's going to basically give some standard indoctrinated spiel on scripture, but he's like old and out of touch. So, he wouldn't know. Let's go with that one. And, then they got this lady, same thing with her pearls. You got to wonder, Stavely, okay, is this guy a real, we know he's probably not a real journalist. I mean, who knows where the fuck this guy,
Well, what's a real journalist anyways? A paid professional liar, really. So even if he's a real
Right.
journalist, he's still a paid liar. He's going to read whatever script they tell him to go on the street with.
right. And then it comes down to like crisis actors, paid actors. Like you wonder, are these people really off the street? Like, was this old lady really walking down the street with her pearls on, camera ready, or are they bringing this lady in? I mean, is she in on it? And you could make that even a bigger question, Brian, about, again, like any of these, these events that they have, these bang bang events. Are they paid actors? Are they crisis actors, et cetera, et cetera? Or are they just like unwitting in the whole thing? What are your thoughts? Even like this video, you think they're bringing people in or they're just pulling random people off the streets?
I would tend to think that it's completely set up and they're bringing people in.
Part of me thinks that too. All right, let's continue.
Yeah. It's hard to tell after just a couple clips.
No, I hope not.
Why do you hope not?
Because they'll be frozen to death.
Do you think there is life on other planets?
No, I'm German. Yes, definitely.
Why?
He just goes, "No, I'm German." Like, what's that? Like, he can't think or something? Like, what's that even supposed to mean?
Yeah, a better option for them would be, honestly, if they say they approached 100 people, right, and did these types of questions, get an honest response from them, but then just edit out the ones that don't give the answers you want. It's probably what they did. That would make even more sense, right, than have people act in these roles. Just literally go out in the street. You ask 100 people, you're going to get, enough answers of what you want to put in the final video and manipulate people that way.
Yeah, good point.
What sort of life do you see up there?
Vegetable.
Do I think there's life on other planets? No.
Why not?
Oh, I don't know.
You don't think we'll find anything when eventually we land on Venus?
I don't think we'll find life.
What do
We
you think
might
we'll
find very interesting things, though.
Such as?
Oh, I couldn't really say what as. I don't know. But I dare say it'll be something worth knowing.
I think there is life on other planets.
And how do you see this life? How do you visualize it yourself? Is
It's
it
rather
like
like
this?
queer-looking people.
Again, like showing the age thing. Like this young lady, of course there's life on other planets. Which is funny because I'm thinking, Stavely, if you went out and interviewed people, I would say 9 out of 10 people, maybe more than 90%, they're just going to assume that there's life on other planets. Like, that's how far we've come since 1962, is that now the older people, the boomers now, the older generation, they're all bought in. They already had Star Trek, Star Wars. They already had the propaganda. Now almost everybody's going to be bought into the life on other planets. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting how that's kind of flipped. They were kind of frowned upon as the wacky conspiracy theorists if they believed in aliens from other planets, but now it's like the mainstream thing, And are they ever going to have this, like, quote unquote disclosure? Everybody, and we know it's going to be bullshit because we know they're not coming from outer space. But I don't think so. They just keep kicking that can down the road as well, and that's the game the government and the media plays. Are they really admitting there's other life? And then people can go in both directions with it, argue both sides about, is the government covering up aliens from outer space, or are they going to admit it, right? Is the media covering up, or are they going to admit it? Meanwhile, the fact remains that there are no aliens from outer space. It's just like all the rabbit trails with every conspiracy theory. You argue two sides of part of it that isn't even real. Like, and I'll be safe for your channel here, but 2 planes can't take down 3 buildings, you know? And it's like, well, how many times are you going to recite 2 planes over and over? You know what I mean? It's that type of discussion.
Right.
Queer looking people. They're totally different from the people on Earth.
I suppose so.
Uh-huh. Would you like to get up there yourself and see it on Venus?
Not particularly.
Why not?
So I like it down here. I reckon there is.
What makes you reckon that?
Well, just, I don't know, it's not imagination, it's just what,
You're being led by scientific discoveries, etc.
yes.
Yeah, well, how do you see this life? If you think there is life up there, how do you see it? What form do you think it takes?
Animal, because we're animals, aren't we?
Well, some of it.
Yes.
Speak for yourself. How do you see them up there, though?
Oh,
I mean, the same as here? You think land on Venus will discover people like you?
No,
Totally different.
it all depends what atmosphere they're living in. I think it'll be an animal form, but I don't think it'll be like us.
You think that's a good thing?
Well, I don't know.
Would you like to get up there and find out for yourself?
Definitely.
Would you?
Too right,
You'd
I would.
volunteer for this?
Too right, I would. I'd like to be the first woman in space.
Do you think there is life on other planets?
Oh, I don't know.
Have you thought about
Now, Stavely, I'm looking at her. Look, I walk down the streets. I don't know where they are, but I don't see many women looking kind of like her. I mean, I don't know. Maybe if you were in
She
like
doesn't
New
even-
York.
Yeah, dude, she doesn't even look like she's in the right reality or time structure of this whole interview. She like sticks out totally, dude.
Exactly. When I first watched this, she stuck out to me, and I think she's the last. I think she's the last person they interview here. It's like, it's almost like really like she's walking down the street like looking like that, like completely like. Look at her pressed shirt. It's perfectly pressed. I mean, I get it. There's some women who she could have been a model. I don't fucking know, but like, it's just funny to me that like she shows up. You know, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah. She totally looks like.
Yeah. Let's get through. I have some guests in the back. So we're a few moments. We're going to bring up. Looks like I have Rose and Nachiketa.
Oh. Also 2 epic awakening interviews.
Oh, you did a My Awakening with Nachiketa? I missed that one, dude. Are you
Yeah,
serious?
dude, like 3 years ago, dude.
Oh, wow. Nach has been around that long. All right, let's get through this and we'll bring them up.
thought about this at all?
No.
Do you think there is life on other planets?
No, French.
No speak.
I speak English, French.
Vous pensez qu'il y a autre vie de les planètes? Mars et Vénus.
Oui.
Oui?
Oui.
C'est français, là?
Où ça là-bas, chez Mars? Je sais pas.
Nothing fun?
There is life on other planets.
Oh, I couldn't tell you.
Wouldn't have a notion, would I?
Right?
I wouldn't have a notion.
You haven't thought about this at all?
Oh, I thought about it, but no, I wouldn't think there would be.
Do you think it would be a good thing for the Earth if there was life indeed up there on Venus?
I suppose competition is pretty good at any time, isn't it?
And there you have it, folks. Yes, Dave, I'm fascinated by the fucking
Zoom.
The space-based propaganda. I'd mentioned that it seems like they've instituted the propaganda's been around since the beginning of TV, movie, radio. You know, War of the Worlds. Like I said, that French movie Voyage to the Moon with the iconic, you know, quote unquote rocket ship crashes into the moon's eye. All the shit.
that was
2001 Space Odyssey. All of it.
That one with the rocket in its eye, that was like 1902 or something, wasn't it? It was a long time ago.
Yeah, man. It was like one of the original, like basically like the first, like, let's say sci-fi movie ever made was like Voyage to the Moon.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Like, what does that say? It's like they institute Hollywood and then it's a trip to the moon is like one of the first movies, a lot of production value in it. And then, you know, they're just assuming. They're assuming you can go there. They're showing us, you know, rocket technology. It's insane. Let's set up Nachiketa. Nach, welcome, welcome to the show.
And I think we have a tiniest bit of delay. I think sometimes when I'm done talking, it's taking you like an extra second to hear me. So just be aware of it. Just letting you know. It's not bad.
Right.
I can sense it a little.
Right on. What's up, Nach? Can you hear us? Notch, if you're talking, we can't hear you. Just saying.
And Rose said she got disconnected. Maybe there's a little internet issue with the stream right now or something.
There might be.
It's usually good though, right? You're usually good there. You on Wi-Fi? Are you plugged in? Is there anything you can do?
I'm on Wi-Fi. Usually, if it's giving me problems, it'll tell me. Like, it'll give me like a Wi-Fi thing. I dropped the link in. I'm sure they'll come back. Yeah, here's Notch. Let's bring him back up. Notch, you hear us? Notch?
Nope.
Let's try Rose. Rose, you there?
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning. Yeah, you're good. Good to go, Rose.
What's up? Good morning, Brian. It's so cool to see you up and at 'em. What are you doing today?
I am working today, and I'm working in the afternoon, and I'm training 5 days this week. So I figured now would be a good time to jump on the morning stream because I'm just trying to chill before I have to go in tonight. I'm not trying to even go to the gym or do anything. So
I think that's smart. Brian, I was thinking about this. If I was ever a bartender, I would try to think of a cool drink. I already told you that about like Mandela ideas, but also I've been taking methylene blue with David Weiss. And
what is that?
It
sounds like you guys are taking a club drug. You guys doing ecstasy?
No, it's like something really, really healthy. It's a blue dye that they found out was really healthy for neurological things and mental acuity. Of course, I don't notice anything about with all these fucking supplements, and neither does David because he already feels fantastic. But it makes your pee blue. But it's so beautiful in blue. You just put it up in the sunlight and look at it. It's kind of like the concentrated colloidal silver that David Avocado has, but bright blue. Anyway, you just put a couple drops in it and you're making a blue drink and you're helping people like with their brains. So might be something to consider.
Okay,
cool. But anyway, when I joined, it was because Z brought up the idea of quote unquote life on other quote unquote planets. But I don't want to like change the conversation if you were already going in another direction.
No, I think that's what we're talking about still, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Rose, what are your thoughts? Like, we were pointing out like, how we presuppose things. Like you said, we presuppose that there are like first of all, Earth is a planet. When you say other planets, you're assuming Earth is a planet. And then secondly, you're assuming that, planets could be, terra firma, that life lives on. All assumptions based on indoctrination. Yeah, go ahead. I'd like to hear your take on it.
Yeah. So, okay. When I said quote unquote planets, it's because I think that word should be exchanged with realm of existence. And I think that we're living in a metaphysical realm. And so what we look at in the sky, in order to go there, it would be like you have to die. It's a spirit. You can only access it spiritually. We're not operating at the same frequency. So I don't want to like come up with my own theory because there are so many ancient texts that have discussed this. And David was mentioning Fortune. I don't think that Fortune is the be all and end all, but he does have access to a lot of information and he's really, really old. And so I do listen to what he has to say and just take it and consider it. And he said that after we die, what we call the planets, it's like there are other realms of existence where the soul could go. And it sounds a little far-fetched to me. It's like I am having cognitive dissonance with it because it just sounds kind of science fiction-y. But I don't know. What do you think of that concept?
Well, I'll just jump on it, Rose. I mean, I've discussed this on my channel multiple times. This is a particular topic that I discussed with Joe from Effed Up World, if you guys know Joe and his work. And you can look at a lot of the scriptures, even some of the quote unquote accepted scriptures from the Bible, taken for what it's worth, and Enoch, and a lot of the apocryphal stuff. And it alludes to stuff like this. There's an idea that the so-called planets, they're named after the gods, so to speak. And there's an idea that they may be sort of imprisoned in the abyss. They were supposed to be imprisoned in the ground for 70 generations, but then moved to the abyss. Could the heavens be the hell realm that's alluded to in the scriptures? It doesn't have to be fire and brimstone. It just could be the darkness of of the heavens and space. They say that, because you would think, given the heliocentric model, that the higher you go, the more clear the stars would be. But if you go up with like a balloon, apparently the heavens space becomes black and you don't even see the stars at elevation. So what could that mean? What could the heavens be like? Almost like some kind of cage and imprisonment, there's an idea of that, and that these so-called stars or even wandering stars could be sentient, like entities sort of imprisoned there. The Enoch talks about that they transgressed their order. It's also talked about in the New Testament that they transgressed the order of God, the order of the heavens, and now they're these quote-unquote wandering stars. So I would agree, like looking at the heavens as something mystical, something spiritual, something conscious, it makes more sense. It only sounds crazy when you have the pre-indoctrinated heliocentric model that you're basing your paradigm from. Once that paradigm collapses, the idea of the heavens as something conscious and spiritual makes sense. Go ahead, floor's open.
Brian, do you want to jump in or should I continue?
Continue. I want to hear more of your thoughts.
And let's welcome Notch to the stream. Notch, can you hear us?
Can you guys hear me? Am I audible?
You're good. Yeah, you're good.
Oh my gosh. Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Good morning, Nachiketa. I've been thinking.
Hey, Rose. Hey, Brian.
I've been sending positive vibes to your foot, your poor, precious foot. Everyone needs to
I'll be all right.
You will be all right. And it's so amazing. It was an opportunity for Nachiketa to find out that the people around him care about him and love him so much, because he was like, oh, maybe I'll run out of water. It's okay. It's life is about lessons. And the lesson was that multiple people came to him and brought him things, and it just warms my heart. But anyway, I think that it's very interesting when we talk about this spiritual, like you can't separate the spiritual from the physical. So I think it makes sense that when you die, you should have already thought about your plans and where you want to go, which is kind of a catch-22, because how the hell are we even supposed to know what our options are in this existence? We can only speculate. But I think it makes sense that because our thoughts create our reality, that whatever teacher someone respected in their life is kind of what they will see at that moment. Because if we were operating from our hearts and good morality and aligned with truth, whatever teacher we thought taught us that is part of truth. So it's the same as whatever. So kind of like how the Islamic people say Allah and we say God, but maybe as long as we're aligned with truth, we're talking about the same thing, and it's just semantics. So I think that the idea of going towards the white light is propaganda, and that could possibly recycle us back into this existence. And so the idea is to be able to know where you're going and go into the void. That was the idea that
I had a caller call in the other night and talk about this. Just like think on the last show or the show before. And there's a lot of people that say about not going into the light. And like, so how do we know what our next step is? How do we plan? Well, there's certainly a lot of people that talk about going through that experience and coming back to this place and still holding memories. The problem I have with it, it's like really hard to discern who's telling the truth with that stuff. It's really hard.
It's so hard. So I think that it's our intent that matters the most, and it's about our hearts. So like I said, I might think that I'm, praying to the flying spaghetti monster, but if I lived a good life and did the right thing, whatever it is, whatever the truth is going to be like, that's really funny that Rose was calling this flying spaghetti monster when really it's blah, blah, blah.
You have a lot of confidence, though. Like I have a lot of confidence in what I've spoken of a lot over the last several years, especially, is trusting your intuition over everything. Your intuition definitely over information. And I think that our intuition is such a guide. And when we get to that point and have to make that decision, if we are, if the decision is on us, I think we're going to make the right decision. I feel pretty confident about that.
Absolutely, Brian. And that's what I love about your work, about trusting your senses, trusting your instincts. And that's what being a human is all about. And I think the most evil part of the agenda is the idea that the truth can't be known, because the truth can be discovered. It's just that people have gotten so lazy and their brains are, even my own brain is not operating. I'm not firing on as many cylinders as I was when I was like 12, 13 years old. I feel like I had a lot more mental acuity. So we all have to, be grateful for the brain cells we've got and preserve them, which is why I recommended methylene blue. Okay, That's all I have to say. I don't really have anything else to add about the possibilities of afterlife.
Rose, are you shilling for this methylene blue thing? Were there shekels involved in this? Where are we going? I need 20%, Rose. 20% on that.
I don't. Well, okay. So technically, there is a coupon code on Crow 777 to Clive DeCarl, but you can get it anywhere. So you don't have to get it from Clive DeCarl. I just found out about it because it was talked about on the show. And so, yeah, you could say that I am testing it right now, and I'm inviting other people to join me in my experiment. And it's funny because when you start taking it, then you kind of forget, and then you pee and it starts to become green, and you're like, why is my pee green? But then you're like, oh, it's on its way to becoming blue. And David and I were joking and saying, David said, I almost don't want to flush because people are just going to think it's that cleaning stuff. They're just gonna they think peeing over soap, but he's not going to. I told him to flush.
Nice. Rose, how did you what did you think about the show we did Saturday night on your channel? What do you think about it?
Oh, I thought it was so much fun. And the only, there was a couple of parts where I felt awkward. Like Kalina had no idea what she was getting into, but after the show, she came to me and she's like, I sent you the screenshot. She was posting on Instagram. She was like so excited and proud of our stream. And she said it was like a refreshing break from all of the serious work that she does. And that I know now that if we ever did a stream together, I don't have to try to censor you or stop you from being yourself because she's all in. And so, yeah, maybe we could do another stream with Kalina as well. And also it was really fun bringing on my mom because it was just a spur of the moment thing where I literally sent the link out, just like I didn't know what she was up to. And so, yeah, it was fun. Thank you for being my guest.
Yeah, and
Thanks
we did a show.
Yeah, for having me. Yeah,
me and Rose did a show like earlier this week as well, or maybe about a week ago, right? We went really deep into the last 3 years, and then the day in September. And can I make an announcement here, Z, real quick? Exclusive announcement here in the Z show. So a lot of people have been wondering where Christian Knapp is. So
I've been wondering where Christian Knapp is, Brian. I don't want to cut you off, but I had Boston Ray, Mudflood Ray was on my show a couple days ago, and we were talking all things Christian Knapp, and I was wondering, where's Christian been? All right, go ahead. This is exciting for me.
So today is August 28th. We got about 2 weeks till the anniversary of that day in September, which if people don't know and the people say, oh, Brian just talks about the Mandela effect too much, which by the way, in my opinion is like the biggest thing ever. But my roots were with that day in September, trying to be safe for the channel here and not use certain words. And I spent like a good 4 years doing shows on that, breaking it down, going all in. So since the anniversary is coming up, what I do every year is a lot of 9/11 content. Well, I just said it, like I just did with Rose the other night. And I'll be doing a lot of shows related to that topic leading up to it. And to the anniversary show this year, I'm bringing Christian Knapp out of retirement, and he'll be joining me for my 9/11 special this year. It's going to be on probably the 10th, though, rather than the 11th, or some point that weekend. So Christian will be back. He'll be with me, and we'll be doing a September 11 show in about 2 weeks.
That's good news. That's awesome news. A lot of us know Christian. It's good to see that, sometimes we need to take breaks. Who knows, guys? Life things happen. Who knows? This has been a transitional period for many of us, especially, the last 3 years, guys. Those who didn't go along just to get along, the ones who truly realized where the system wants to bring us, and we've made conscious, active, proactive efforts to move away from the system. It's been quite trying for many, but I can only speak for myself and what others tell me. And, I think we're all kind of like maybe settling in now. And I love it that voices like Christian, like, where he realizes that he's kind of like, people want to hear what he has to say. And, I kind of get that, man.
He's a really smart dude. And I don't know if you saw his awakening interview. It was over 7 hours long, and it was like the most fun awakening interview like ever. Like I had known, just like you, I had known you from being a caller to the show, just like Nachi Keita. and Christian was a caller, and he's obviously a deep thinker like a lot of us are. So I really appreciated him. So I asked him if he wanted to do an Awakening interview. I had no idea about the music, dude. He turns on the camera backstage and he's in a fucking like a studio and he's got all these instruments. And I'm like, you play music? He's like, yeah. I'm like, you think we can get a performance tonight? And that's when he broke out the one-man band with like 7 instruments going at once live on the show. Wicked cool. And he's like a really brilliant guy when it comes to a lot of topics. And there's not too many people I want to invite on my show to talk about 9/11 because I feel it's like, well, what do they really bring into the conversation, But he brings a lot. So it's going to be a really great show. I can't wait to have him back. And he's a good friend and he makes awesome music for the truth community. If anybody here doesn't know Christian, check out his music. Amazing guy and just a great guy all around. I remember when my computer broke right when the Rona started, right? And, here I am telling everybody, hey, don't worry if we all step all over each other. Let's all live stream all the time. People need to not live in fear. And then like a week into it, my freaking computer breaks. And people raised money for a laptop and Christian picked it up. And I'd never met the dude in person. He drove all the way to my house to bring me the laptop. And he's just a solid dude, man, as solid as it gets.
Yeah, I remember that. That episode that you did with Christian, and he brought that computer over, and Brian's been the kind of a bridge for a lot of people. I wouldn't have met Rose if I didn't know Brian. I wouldn't have known about AJ from Rippin' Rabbit Hole if I didn't know Brian. So I do appreciate the work he has done and continue to do.
Well, let's talk about that. It's interesting, Stavely. Your My Awakening series has kind of turned into like a thing. It's pretty much an anthology at this point, and it's been the foray and the introduction of like a lot of people now who have strong voices in this quote unquote community. Can you talk about that a little bit, Stavely? Like what that means to you, how you kind of came up with the idea, and what it's evolved into?
Yeah. So I've been doing shows for like 13 years. Started in podcast form, a lot of 9/11 stuff, Fakery, Boston Bombing, Sandy Hook, Apollo, all this, then the NASA stuff, and then to the Mandela Effect. Took a little break for 2 years, 2015, 2016, 2017, came back 2018, started doing videos because I ended up on a couple roundtables. First, what happened is 2017, I saw a lot of people in the flat earth community pushing a lot of unwarranted fear about 9/11, and I knew it was bogus. So that motivated me to come back and do 9/11 broadcasts. And then, sure enough, of course, I started talking about flat earth and Mandela Effect and all this stuff. In 2018, though, when I started to do a few roundtables on another channel to talk about the Mandela Effect, I realized, well, this is kind of a shit show, first of all, on this guy's channel. Second of all, I'd be much better off just doing my own content. And I decided that a great way, and actually the first videos on my YouTube channel that are actual videos, not re-uploaded podcasts, is My Awakening episode number 3. So the first 2 I did as podcasts, but I decided what I should do is, because at that time, I already have my hand in a lot of communities, right? I definitely know a lot of people in 9/11, definitely know a lot of people in the flat earth community, definitely know a lot of people in the Mandela Effect community. Obviously, the Rona thing hadn't happened yet, but we'd meet a lot of people there. And I thought, man, there's so many interesting people. I would really like to get their story. There's a lot of motivations for it. So I'd really like to get their story and have everybody hear it. Now, what that does is it gets people to all meet each other and integrate with each other and build bridges. But on top of it, I wanted to come at it with a different style. So you had David Weiss on the screen a minute ago, right? So I interviewed David Weiss as well on The Awakening, but I didn't interview David Weiss on Flat Earth. I interviewed David Weiss on David Weiss. I interviewed Nachiketa on Nachiketa. I get people's whole story. Everybody knows their topic-specific stuff, mostly. Everybody has seen 100 interviews from David. You know what I mean? They want to hear the whole story. So I get people's story from the time they were young all the way up to where they are now. And I've also used it because I know I want quality people in the truth community, and I have an eye for talent. I know who's going to be good at speaking, and I want to get people's feet wet a little bit. People like yourself, Z, other people in the truth community as well. I mean, that's kind of been something I wanted to do to get them a little comfortable and maybe help them start getting live stream. And so, I feel that it brings a lot of value to bring these people out on these interviews. And a lot of people told me that the Awakening series are their favorite videos, period, on YouTube. So I'm going to keep doing it. I really like doing it. I mean, I've brought on some fantastic people, and some of the older interviews that you guys haven't seen, go back and check them out. I think you guys will really enjoy all of them. Z, yours was, I mean, nobody even really knew who you were when I interviewed you. And all of a sudden, when I did that interview, I'd say easily in the top 10 out of like 80 Awakening interviews with tons of huge names that people know. You came in and knocked it out of the park. Rose as well, you know?
Yeah, it was fun. And a lot of people don't realize that was my first time kind of really being exposed and out there, man. And, you went for it, dude. You asked the questions and you got me to speak about things that were pretty deep, man. And, because a lot of people know my passion is flat earth. It's quite obvious. That's my big message, is the flat earth thing, because I think flat earth shows the creation and the creator. But, you and I got into talking about my old profession and my experiences during the whole, scamdemic, and a lot of personal things about me that I don't really talk about necessarily. Yeah. You kind of probe that stuff. So yeah, dude, it's kind of like become a thing. And I liked what you said about how you want to, identify people who you feel you want to give them a voice, because it contributes to the community. We want to have a community around us that aren't fucking shills, aren't charlatans. We want to kind of, we gatekeep ourselves. Gatekeeping's not always a bad thing. If you're gatekeeping yourselves, we almost have to gatekeep each other and call each other out and make sure we're all kind of monitoring each other. So I kind of like that aspect of it. Go ahead.
We got to keep the talent pool talented. Like, let's face it, and everybody deserves a voice, right? There should be no censorship. We all know that's a reality. I'm certainly not for that. But let's be honest, there's a lot of people that really have no business getting in front of a fucking camera. The shit that they put out is, these truth communities have some great, great minds, but they're also so, as they get bigger, of course, they're going to get watered down. I want to keep bringing quality people and keep quality people around me and people that are willing to explore different ideas. None of you guys here are one topic truthers. Those people don't interest me at all. If I did interview a one topic truther, I would interview them on their specific area of expertise. You guys connect dots. We can talk about lots of things. Z, like what went on in the last 3 years and your experiences being in the profession and taking a stand and the stands that the other three of us on the screen took. That's all important stuff. A lot of people in the so-called communities, Mandela Effect community, Flat Earth community, whatever. I'm not picking on any individual community, but a lot of people didn't do anything to show people.
They wore a mask.
And they sold them. Most of the Mandela Effect deniers with huge channels, they were selling face masks while they're mocking me, saying I talk about it too much. Meanwhile, I'm on 15 flights in a row, not wearing one, videotaping it to show everybody and telling people to not live in fear. These people are a joke, man. I'm very, very disappointed with where the truth community has gone. For a little bit, it was really looking people good for a while, but man, in the last year or so, I just see a lack of discernment, and I see a lot of ego, and I see, and ego is a big problem why people can't get out of their paradigms, and I just see a lot of people that are, all they are is just concerned with getting attention and fighting with each other, and they're not even providing anything new or taking the conversation anywhere, dude, anywhere.
Well, it's interesting you say that, Brian, and we can put it to the panel is along the lines of that is the fear matrix. I mean, I don't know if fear gets numbers, people like it, but it's like you were saying, it's like okay, we're supposed, people are awake to certain things, but they're gonna like read a news article as if like, oh well, the Russia-Ukraine thing is like legit, or it's like how you buy into that, like, so you can you're still going to hold on to your paradigm. So you're going to admit that, history as presented, science as presented, religions as presented, the fucking cosmology as presented is all bullshit. It's been a lie from the top down. But yeah, we're going to like buy into like some news article about politics or,
Crazy.
geopolitical situation. It's so the disconnect to me is weird, and I have to wonder: is there an agenda to keep people in a fear space? Go ahead, anybody's thoughts?
No, listen. I mean, of course there is, and this is one of the biggest things I talk about with 9/11. And again, guys, keep an eye on my channels if you haven't seen my 9/11 content. That's not on YouTube, but you can find it all on Odyssey for free. And Rockfin, the newer stuff's up there. But this is what I say about like September 11th. So September 11th, I know it woke a lot of people up, right? It woke me up. But it also it put truthers in an endless paradigm of fear, and this is why I came out of retirement. So if you look around, you can see these people. They've all get their stuff on YouTube. Richard Gage, Judy Wood, all these big name people at 9/11 that people know that are pushing all these different theories. Why does my stuff get taken down? Why have I done 2,000 live streams on YouTube? I can't have members. I can't monetize. My content is too harmful. Why? Because I show people that it was all a complete fabrication. So what happens is when they do these things, whether it's the moon landing, 9/11, pick your event, right? So let's go back to the moon landing for a minute. When they fake a moon landing, the original we're talking about, when they faked it in 1969, they didn't think 95 or 100% of people in the world were going to believe it. They might have had a different number, maybe 70%, right? So for the people that don't believe it, they've got a story waiting for you when you don't trust them. So that story, say once you see that the photography's fake, well, what do they tell you? Well, aliens scared us off, or we did a secret space mission. You can't really see the real photos, right? 9/11 is the same thing. Now, before I say my conclusion on 9/11, which most people here know, but some don't, you have to remember what we saw in the last 3 years. What we saw in the last 3 years didn't exist at all. And nobody was getting picked up off the floor until a year later when they got what stuck in them, okay? There was nothing going on, nothing real about it. We checked, personally. We checked. Nothing going on, okay? You guys know that, most of you. I'd say 90% of Disease Chat probably knows that. Now, what was one of the most frustrating things about it? Well, that the normies you try to tell couldn't even put 2 and 2 together when the hospitals in their own damn city had nothing going on at all. Well, what happened on that day in September? Well, it was centralized all in one city, basically. We could talk about the Pentagon and all that. But New York, right? Well, the hospitals were empty in New York on that day, all throughout the day and night. I've shown it over and over. So a lot of people don't ever want to go there. Why don't you want to go there? Well, because you're emotionally tied to 9/11, just like the boomers are tied to the moon landing. Even though you're a truther, that was your awakening, or a big part of your awakening into the truth community. So what happened? Okay, so we're going to do this event, and there's going to be all these people that are going to buy it, but there's also going to be a group of people that are going to not buy it. So here we go. So they don't care. First off, they would love to have you believe, and I'm trying to be careful here, guys. If you really want to hear me go in, you got to check out one of my shows on it. But if you want to believe that it's the 19 guys and the 4 things and all that, fantastic. But if you don't believe that, well, here we go. We got the directed energy weapons evaporated the towers. We got mini nuclear devices was snuck in the tower. Do you see all these rabbit trails of fear porn? And that's why those people are allowed to promote all that. And the truthers promote all that. And even if they don't directly promote these different ideas about that day in September, what they do is they have it in their mindset that the government dropped buildings on people in broad daylight while they work thousands of people and crush them, and they could do that to you. But that's not what happened. That's not what happened at all. They run psyops on you where, in my opinion, it's all done by consentancy. And this is theory. This is getting away from what I strongly feel I know about that day in September. My theory is it's all by consent. So do people really perish in these events? No, but they're manipulated into perishing another way. 2 examples. If you believe any of the stories of that day in September, how many people do you think signed up to the military based off those lies? And then they consented to give their life away. Same thing with the people that consented to do what in the last couple of years because they were scared off of the seat from the lies on the TV. And that's how this whole thing works. And you see it with the Rona too, right? Remember the video that came out with that gatekeeper from, what do you call it? Veritas, Project Veritas or whatever, that gatekeeper. And he's there supposedly with the guy from the company that manufactures the thing. And it's a leaked video. Well, no, it's not a leaked video. In the video, they're telling you that they mutated something that doesn't even exist. And this is the type of stuff that truthers share over and over and over again. And these type of same people mock me And they say I talk about the Mandela effect too much. Oh, I could talk about this whole fake reality. The funny thing is, you guys realize so much of it. You'll realize you'll realize the news is fake, but you'll buy back into it, like Z alluded to earlier. Truth is promoting Tucker Carlson and people like this. It makes me sick, dude. But what also makes me sick is even people that'll get these, okay, these events are not real, right? And outer space isn't real. And the globe isn't even real. But they hang on to their precious little paradigm of what the fuck they think reality is. And they call Mandela effect a psyop without giving it any real investigation. Meanwhile, I know they're all affected. I show they're all affected, you know? So, you know, I have a lot of frustrations, but I'm no rookie here. I'm not getting fooled by a psyop. I understand psyops and these types of things better than probably 95% of the people that make content out here, if not a higher percentage. I'm not falling for a psyop, but I don't want to go on the Mandela effect too much right now. We were talking about fear. I just wanted to throw that in there because I think it's a sad state where people are throwing their senses away because they are locked in to a paradigm because they think they have this place figured out. Very, very dangerous stuff. But the fear, not living in fear, is just as big of a truth as the flat earth, as the Mandela effect, as anything, dude. And it permeates through the truth community. And I'll shut up in a minute. I want to make one more point, okay? My point is, if you went to a normie right now, let's say you were at a family gathering or whatever, and, you know, 9/11 kind of came up. Not like you brought it up and tried to beat it in the head or anything, but just a 9/11 conversation came up. And then you were at a truth or whatever, and 20 truthers, and a 9/11 conversation came up. Right now in 2023, who do you think's actually more scared and promotes more fear of what they thought happened on that day? I'd say the truthers, by far, dude, by far, you know?
Right. Well, that's the thing. To me, it's just progressive levels of gatekeeping. It's like when you climb off the plantation, you make it over the fence, and then you're just on like a bigger plantation, like more and more. And I agree. They have it set up like that. So if you're aware of certain things, they'll have your Alex Jones waiting for you to kind of corral you in there, like you said, like a Tucker Carlson, and they'll do it, and they'll let you get as awake as you can within your paradigm. Hey, as long as you maintain your paradigm. So yeah, it was an inside job, you know, but it's still planes and people died and stuff. It's like, as long as you maintain your paradigm. Oh yeah, there's aliens on other planets and they're going to come here.
It's just like what we talked about earlier, right? You're arguing, you're validating something that never existed in the first place. You're validating space, which has been nothing but cartoon images, fake photography, and all this. You're validating in one way or another 3,000 people getting crushed in buildings by the government. You're validating in one way or another, whether it's a Wuhan lab or the other story we just talked about, that there was actually something going around, when in fact it's all a fabricated fucking reality. But how far does the fabricated reality go? Does it stop? No, it keeps going, because what we thought is physical reality. I'm not saying physical reality is a complete illusion, but it's an incomplete reality, right? It's an incomplete discussion of reality, because we see supernatural changes in this reality. We see things change retroactively all the way through time. So what that tells us is what we thought of physical matter and the possibilities of it, and what we thought of the construct of time, that's all completely out the window. And this stuff needs to be addressed, because we live in a fluid reality that's pumped full of fear. And this is why I think it's funny. People say, well, Brian, he wants him and his Mandela effect. People want people to go back to watching the media. It's really the dumbest shit I ever heard. Well, they think that CERN is collapsing particles. More of the dumbest shit I ever heard. Stuff that I've taken a strong stance against since the beginning. I don't believe that fucking CERN is causing them. I believe in CERN about as much as I believe in the International Space Station, which is zero. Okay. The thing that's happening here is the Mandela effect. The supernatural changes in this realm are out of the controller's hands. The people that run the psyops, the people that roll these people out in front of us, and the gatekeepers and the shills and the hoaxes and all this, they don't have control over it. It's the one thing that they don't control. That's why they're desperately running a campaign to tell you have these confabulations. Everybody's misremembering the same things almost down the line across the world over and over and over and over again. I mean, come on, dude. And to the guys out there listening, that are like, wow, this guy knows his stuff about 9/11 or whatever, or the guys that already know that because they've listened to me for a while. Most of these guys, these 9/11 guys, these auto hoax guys, everything's fake, right? Yeah, that's great. And like I said, people don't need to not live in fear. And it's great that there's people promoting that message still. And I go back there when I need to, like I am for the anniversary of 9/11. But almost all these guys, to a T, they call the Mandela effect a psyop and a media hoax. Well, why aren't they ripping it apart? Because I know if there was a little school shooting down the street, they'd be all over it. So where are they? Where are they to show us how this magic trick is done? They're clowns to me, bro. They're reality deniers. The people that deny that this is taking place, they're not much different than people like McToon and these others, right? They sit there, they do all these videos, and they deny reality. They deny reality. They deny their own senses, experiences, memories, and all of it based off of what? Based off of they think they know what this place is, and they're stuck in their paradigm. And they laugh and ridicule people like me. And clearly, I've got a lot more figured out than they do. If that's where they're at mentally.
Well, I wanted to say this about the paradigm is, and, you know, you brought CERN into it and people's understandings, and it goes back to what I was saying about people's belief, because whether or not people are aware of it, they're under a belief system that everything came from a big bang and a cosmic accident, and they evolved over billions of years from pond scum into the the complex organisms that we are. They're on that belief, and they're presented with what's called the standard model of physics, of particle physics, that talks about gravity and weak and strong nuclear forces, 3 unproven forces of nature, so-called forces. They have a basis which they build their construct of reality around that is, again, indoctrinated and conditioned. They're thinking of particles. They're looking at this world in a way that's physical. When I look at a world that's consciousness, to me, consciousness appears to be the overarching reality. The physical world, to me, is probably just a perception of a certain frequency bandwidth along the entire reality spectrum. Now, if you look at this reality from that perspective, that lens, the idea of a fluid nature of reality becomes almost natural.
Obvious,
it's implied in that.
It's so obvious now. It's 2023. How are people still denying that this is even happening? Like, you could say we take it too far, or we call too many changes that aren't. But how are you going to outright say that this is a psyop and there aren't tons of changes that affect you? Especially when I don't do it anymore, because I've realized it's pointless and I'm dealing with NPC truthers. But how many of these people have I pointed out repeatedly over and over and over and over and over how affected they are by these changes? And then it's just a psyop. It's just stupid. No, you're stupid. You're stupid. You're denying your own reality and you're misleading people. It's unbelievable. I've even had people that are saying I'm going to burn in hell and I'm taking people away from God. Meanwhile, I give credit to the Creator for almost all of it. And many people have told me I brought them closer to the Creator, because if you think about it, we talked about creation earlier and Big Bang. Well, it's to some instances of the Mandela effect. Certainly, I would consider that proof of creation. How can things instantaneously change in this realm retroactively all the way back through time as if they were always that way? I mean, that looks like creation to me. Or even inserted events like Black Tom, Torpedo Alley, and these other things that are now part of our history. That's creation in my estimation.
Right.
Or what about human anatomy changes, Z? Or the land masses of the earth are now in the wrong place from where they always were. That's not a big deal, right? That's not a big deal. It's funny because people will say, well, why is it always just little shit? You motherfuckers won't address the big shit. You won't address that the airplane engines are hanging off the freaking wings now, or South America is 1,500 miles out of place. They won't even touch it, dude. And for the people that say Brian shouldn't speak on the Bible, he admits he never read it. Well, Brian also walks up to all these pastors and preachers and Jehovah's Witnesses and everybody on the street with my camera. You can view it all, and you'll see who doesn't know the Bible. Okay, I know exactly what I'm doing, and the changes I speak of are 100% validated. Okay.
Yeah, man, right on. I wanted to bring this up. Rose, are you still there?
Yeah, I almost forgot I was here because I've been chatting so much. But I am here.
Sorry,
I know.
I talked too much. You got me going.
No,
early.
no,
no,
David,
don't
I've been waiting for
apologize.
you. I've been waiting for you. I was like, because
Yeah.
you've been on my show previously, but it was months and months ago, and I was hoping to get you on, man. So no, dude, I'm like fucking glad. But
I'll be straight. I'll be straight with you, man. I love you. I think I love talking with you. You're a super intelligent guy, but you had a lot of drama and stuff going on, and I don't like to be involved in that. So I just kind of stay away,
Yeah, believe me, I understand that. I understand that, and a lot of that is like kind of resolving on its own. A lot of it's power dynamics. So speaking of the drama, since Rose is here, Rose admitted, and I'm going to go into the Karen B thing because I love Karen. She's like one of my like original truther heroes. Rose admitted unwittingly that Karen B called Zetetic Warrior a shithead. Rose, are you going to back away from that, or are you going to come clean with that, or what?
Karen doesn't understand why I would talk to you, and you say it's because of the joke that you say about the mafia boss, but now I think it's because of you telling someone that they should kill themselves or something. But I talked about that with David Weiss, and I said, when I heard that Zetetic Warrior told someone that they should kill themselves, I couldn't help but think that maybe they should kill themselves.
That's hilarious. Well,
but I don't know who it was. I don't know who it was. I mean, it's just like, I feel like hate speech should be allowed. And that way, every single day that people aren't hating each other with speech, it's because of a choice and not because of the law. Like, there needs to be free speech. And I think that people just need to like loosen up, and we need to try to bring comedy back. Although I did also have a discussion about that recently, and I don't know if it's possible to bring back the past. I love to be nostalgic as well with comedy, and also there's the concept of just because I like comedy and I miss comedy doesn't mean that I can be funny myself. So these are the problems that I'm facing.
Yeah, right on. I'll just put it like this: a lot of them, people miss sarcasm and hyperbole, and sometimes when you go for comedy, it doesn't hit the mark. But I just wanted to just say it here why Rose and Brian are here. I love Karen. Okay, like she's like one of my truther heroes. And I just wanted to put it out there. That's all. And about Flattoberfest, I would like to see like a Martin Liedtke there. I'm just putting two things out there, Rose. But I know it's just me. Who am I? But I'm just kind of advocating for that. I think
why
it'd be
doesn't he
good.
just buy a ticket and go? He could just show up and schmooze with everyone. Look, I honestly
Well, come
feel like
on. If you're
they're gonna
Martin
hang out with each other.
Liedtke, Martin, you're not going to just buy a ticket and go. That's kind of, you know what I mean? He's Martin.
But
he's
I
like,
mean,
he's like a
or he doesn't have
diva.
to buy a ticket. He could just hang out at the hotel. Like the people who all want to hang out together. Like when I used to go to so many conferences before I even got myself involved with Crow 777, and I never used to watch the speakers. I always used to be like Brian and just going around and just connecting with people and talking. That's what it's all about. It's about the human one-on-one connections and discussing the truth, right, Brian?
Yep, 100%, man. And I think it's hilarious for the people that want to say I'm a shill or whatever. I've used my real name, my real face the entire time. I have meetups, so the people that were, talking a lot of smack earlier or whatever, come to my meetup. Say it to my face. You can grill me on anything. You can call my shows. I've had an open phone line that anybody can call for 13 years. So you don't like that I say that nobody died on that day in September, or you don't like what I have to say about the Mandela effect, or you don't like that I think the globe is ridiculous, well, call in and tell me about it.
Well, what's funny, guys, is like, the biggest trolls are always the ones that are just kind of in the chat. They never really show themselves. And, look, it's part of the game that we're doing here. We're vulnerable. We're putting ourselves out there, and the ridicule comes. The other thing, Stavely, I'd like to point out is like, this narrative that like we're up here and like we're just like, exploiting the truth community. We're all just rolling in money from being here. So it's like, oh, of course we just should be ridiculed because we're all making out like financially. Like, I don't know, Stavely, I don't know about you, but like how laughable is that statement? Like we're like up here. No, guys, like what you don't understand is like we're up here doing our thing because we're passionate about it. There's no fucking financial reward here. Like the hours that it takes to do this, you can go out and get the most basic job that pays minimum wage to make more, guys. Like, if you think that, you're out of your mind. But go ahead. I don't want to hog the floor.
No, absolutely. I mean, I didn't make a dime until a decade into doing this. A decade. And then once the thing hit of the last 3 years, again, it was Christian and a couple other people that had the idea. There's like, you should really do like a Patreon thing. People would support you. I'm like, nah, I don't really want to do that or whatever. But on his advice, I did that. And we make if you think we're making huge bank off this, then why am I working 5 days this week? I'm going back to work because I see where this is going. I see all it's going to take is a couple of more of these platforms to pull the rug out. And then we're going to be, completely fucked as far as any of that goes. My channel can't get monetized. I can't get members. I can't get super chats through YouTube. I have to do all these things to circumvent it again, because my content is too harmful, but nearly everybody else can do all that. So, yeah.
Oh my God, they got people being monetized all over. I look at these, some of these channels, what's monetized and they get like 100,000 subscribers. It's the Truth or Light channels. It's the ones that are going to still keep you into the politics, the paradigm, the right-left paradigm. It's the ones that, they may bring up 9/11, but it was an inside job. It's the ones that are going to say, oh yeah, they maybe we didn't go to the moon, but that's because aliens were there and you still live on a stupid globe. You see, guys, those quote unquote truthers with like hundreds of thousands of subscribers and are monetized and rolling it in. Yeah, they're going to get promoted in the algorithms. They're going to get, all the people there because they're still keeping you within the paradigm. The ones who are out here really talking our stuff, you're never going to see us. And we're doing it for the love of the game, and that's the hardest part. And, I had to learn that, Brian, a lot of this has been a learning experience for me, is like coming through this and kind of realizing like what this is really about and like what it takes to do this. And, look, people who have discernment will see it, and the other ones are not going to see it. They'll just call everybody a shill, everybody a fucking grifter. And God forbid anybody actually makes some money like a David Weiss. Guys, the David Weiss is the outlier in the community. Point to, other than David, give me five other truthers that you guys are really think are like, actually supporting themselves and making money from this. You'd be hard pressed to do it.
Crow 777 is supporting ourselves with our membership.
Right. Again, like an outlier, like guys who've been doing it for a long time, putting the time in, they've been here. Other than that, you're not going to find them, It's just the way it is.
All the stuff that, I talk about, obviously, and, what went on the last 3 years, and, all the videos I did with Karen, all the videos I did with Steffi, all the videos I did with everybody else, and all the videos I did by myself, both my channel and Karen's main channels on YouTube haven't grown more than 3,000 subscribers in 3 years. Meanwhile, these other people come out the gate and they get like 100,000 subscribers, and everybody rants and raves about them like they're the greatest thing since sliced bread, and it's more than highly suspect.
I feel like the reason why we've been successful is because we've had like an anti-marketing campaign where we don't promote ourselves. We just put out the first free hour, which is like the commercial for the second hour. And also Crow has never, ever, ever gone live on his YouTube channel. And I'm so glad I don't have control over that, because I would be so tempted, like with 200,000 subscribers, it would be so tempting to go live and like be like, oh my God, maybe like even 3,000 people showing up to a live stream would be so much fun. But I think it doesn't seem like a big deal right now because we're all here in 2023, but he knew all of this was coming in 2016. So he had to have the foresight all the way back in 2015 and 16 to set up his website and the subscribership and try to get the membership because of his telescope work in order to survive. And nobody like was doing any of this back in 2016 except like a core group, like people like Brian, people like Crow, people like Russian Vids, people like Jungle Surfer. And then there was like the next wave of like flat earthers like David Weiss and all those people.
Oh, I knew I didn't get on YouTube specifically for the reason that I knew the censorship was coming down the line. That's why I continued to just do my podcast until 2014. And from the beginning, there were a lot of people on sites like Blog Talk Radio and TalkShoe and all this. And I realized right away after a couple months, I'm like, well, the way I'm talking about this day in September, how long is it going to be before I'm censored? So let me build this all up on my own and have my own following, broadcast through my own website and all that. And anybody interested, I know a lot of you guys follow my videos. If you want to hear my old podcasts, they're all on my website, all in order, all labeled with content, who's in them. You can download them for free. You can even play them on your phone with your phone locked if you want to listen to them while you're at the gym or whatever. Simple.
Right on, everybody. All right, let's wrap the show. Final thoughts, everyone. Good show, guys.
Nachi Ketsa, you have to top.
Well, no, I mean, there's not enough time, but good stuff, guys. It's good to see you, Brian. Good to see you again, Rose. Thanks for having me on, Z. We'll hopefully, get into some of this stuff a little bit more next time. But see you guys later.
Much love, Notch. Always a pleasure.
All right. Have a great day, guys. It was great talking to you all. Bye-bye.
All right, guys. Thanks, Z.
Back at you, Staves. Good talking to you, Holmes. All right, everybody. Coming at you. Went a little bit over time today, but it was worth it. Well worth it. Good stuff. Let me get my camera on to wrap it. Yeah, guys. Right on. That'll wrap it. Good show. We'll be here tomorrow. Like, if the fates are willing, we'll be back tomorrow. 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're still going, guys, with the Z Show. We're still pushing. It's like Stavely was saying. It's like I was saying, if you guys think there's a degree of, a large degree of financial success and financial, remuneration here, you should think again. When you see your favorite truthers up here doing this, realize why they're doing it. It doesn't mean there's not the possibility for money. And of course, people, when you build enough listeners, people will support you to some degree. But don't get it twisted, guys. It may not be what you think it is. You may want to understand that. And even like you saw, me talking to, saw Rose and me talking to Dave Weiss today. Even a guy who may be seeing some degree of financial success, realize he's an outlier, and that by just labeling anyone who's successful in this endeavor as X, Y, or Z, think about how you're limiting this whole community. Don't we want people to be successful in this? Shouldn't their time, energy, and attention be in some ways compensated or rewarded? And if not, what does that say about your whole thought to this endeavor? Just saying. All right, guys, much love. See you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye, everybody.